notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like Big Folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. It's Tingle and Co.
All right, good morning and welcome in here on this Thursday morning. A little bit closer to being on time today. Everybody's excited to get this show started.
We just did the first segment.
But appreciate all of you getting in here this morning, starting your morning with us as we're live from our Southern Regional Medical Center studio. Shout out to the team here at SRMC. As they take great care of us, they'll take great care of you. It is your choice where you go for your medical care. Choose Southern Regional Medical Center, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, Shreveport. 3 great cities here in the great state of Louisiana where Southern Regional is located as they house Tingle & Co. Brought to you by FANDUEL Sportsbook. FANDUEL brings you our show every single day. Every time we're live, it's because of our friends over at FANDUEL. Download the FANDUEL Sportsbook app. Head over to the FANDUEL Sportsbook website. I just opened up the app right now. You've got plenty of preseason NFL football tonight, including... let's see, I feel like there was a team that Yeah. You've got the Chargers, Texans. You got Cardinals, Raiders, Bengals, Lions. Plenty of football going on this evening with the NFL preseason. You can gamble on all of it with our friends over at FanDuel. And then, of course, the Saints will get it started this week. I believe on Saturday is their preseason game against the Jaguars. So preseason football getting started. If you're really itching for some football, because we are 23 days away before we just absolutely open up this show into what I can only imagine. I'll just go ahead and likely no breaks, some good conversation, and then also I don't know who may or may not walk through this door and join us this morning. So
I was
kind of a no holds barred type show.
I was under the impression we couldn't even talk about this. Cease and desist.
Yeah, I mean maybe we can.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to keep our mouths shut. But before we get into all that, LC, good morning. Wyatt, good morning. Christian, good morning. How are we doing, fellas?
Good morning to you. Doing well.
Everybody had a good. So, did you all see this before going to sleep last night?
Yes.
Okay. What time did this come out?
10:30.
Okay, because I was already asleep.
I saw
crazy.
it as soon as it came out because I was literally scrolling Twitter to put stuff in our show document.
Okay.
So I saw it immediately and I read it maybe 8 times before
I read it,
being like, what the fuck?
I woke up at 4, saw y'all's texts, Twitter notifications, whole thing.
I went to bed at 3 and woke up at 4.
But before we get into that, 23 days away. What is our countdown today, Wyatt Vaughn?
23 days away. Couldn't find a ton of players. Stephon Francois from the late 2000s. I feel like I vaguely remember him. He was on the 2010 team. And then Aiden Anding, who not going to play this year, but he is the 23 on this year's team. And then the play of the day, we've got some honorable mentions first. We've got Nuss to Aaron Anderson to go to OT against Ole Miss in 2024. I didn't want to use this one because we used that game.
And
we talk about that game, and every time we talk about it, we go on a 30-minute tangent.
And that throw is one of my favorite throws of all time.
No, of course. Maybe because I was sitting – here we go on the tangent again. I was sitting literally at, parallel with the goal line right here, so it was just the perfect view. So what an amazing play. And then we've got Joe to Jamar for the first touchdown of the SEC championship game against Georgia when they rushed 3 against Joe Burrow. Insane tactic. But the play I decided to go with, another play I was there for, D'Angelo Peterson's 23-yard reverse on 4th and 2 versus Alabama in 2010. Play so beautiful it made Les Miles start grazing on the field and eating grass. What a moment this was. This was such an awesome game back before we soft, but you know what? It was
He never scored a touchdown for LSU.
Yeah, I know.
Crazy.
And he was a unbelievable tight end that went to the wrong team.
Yeah.
But that will always make
God, just hit me in zone.
That's unbelievable to
It
me
is.
because you didn't score a touchdown, but just Angelo Peterson always made me laugh because he should have.
Mm-hmm.
But also the fact that you set this play up for maybe your entire coaching career.
Oh, yeah.
And ran it one time.
Tom Granning. Good morning, boys. The big 60 today. Tom.
Happy birthday.
Good morning,
60
sir.
claps.
60 claps. Good morning, Tom. Let's go 6 claps. Each clap is worth 10.
5 claps, 12 times.
I like that.
Nice.
If I can do that.
6 claps. Ready. There you go, Tom. Good morning, Tom. And happy birthday. But good morning to all of you. We appreciate everybody getting in here and starting their morning with us. It was this is the cool thing about this job, right? Wyatt kind of experienced it last night because a lot of times the day before, like the drive to the show sometimes, but last night was the night prior to the show. I'll sit and I'll be like, okay, how are we going to kind of talk about the same thing again tomorrow in a different way? You know, because we didn't get to go watch practice yesterday because I think it was just walkthroughs.
Right.
So there's nothing for us, no new takes to have, no new observations. So it essentially would have been like finding kind of another theme or lane to speak about the last practice we saw. And so I'm sitting there and I'm just like, what are we going to do? And then I wake up. And there's the show. Like, it's just on a silver platter, your show, here it is. This is what you're going to talk about. LSU football and the gift that just keeps on giving. I've talked a lot about how this offseason has kind of flown by. I think majority of the reason is because there's been something to talk about every day. There's never been a shortage of conversation, whether it's the firing, the hiring, the coaching staff, to the transfer portal for LSU football and everything that transpired there. To men's basketball, the firing, the hiring, the transfer portal, and all that still goes on. Sky Clark commits yesterday, point guard from UCLA, former 5-star, now part of Will Wade's roster. Officially got 5 guys. Everybody can take a breath now. You can go out and play. All of that transpired to the baseball season and how awful that was, to the baseball offseason and how crazy and wild that portal. There's always been something to talk about. And we're getting close to football, and you're kind of just itching and waiting just for game 1. Like, you can only talk about fall camp so much because you're just ready for game 1 to get here. And when that happens, you get a knock on the door. Here's your show content for you today. And it is that Jayden Daniels sends a cease-and-desist letter to LSU after DJ Pickett is given his number 5, meaning LSU can no longer use his name, image, and likeness. I'll read through some of the ESPN article before we really open the discussion up. Everyone in the chat, feel free to weigh in, to dive in, and however you want to discuss. Any $5 super chats, maybe?
Yes.
If you want to get some takes in. Maybe you can't do a $5 super chat. I don't know.
5 cents.
This is crazy. But the article written by ESPN that I woke up at 4, Wyatt read 8 times last night. I think we all really did a deep dive. I sent it to one person, and they responded with, "Is this real?" Which is a valid reaction. So an attorney representing Washington Commanders quarterback Jayden Daniels has informed LSU that it can no longer use his name, image, and likeness, according to an August 5th letter sent to Tigers athletic director Verge Ausberry, a copy of which was obtained by ESPN on Wednesday. At the center of the dispute, according to a statement from Daniels' spokesperson to ESPN, is that the Tigers are allowing sophomore cornerback DJ Pickett to wear number 5 jersey that Jayden Daniels wore when he became LSU's third Heisman Trophy winner in 2023. The jersey has not been retired, but this is the first time a player has been given number 5 since he left the program for the NFL. The quote, "The Daniels family is deeply disappointed and feels profoundly disrespected by LSU's decision to give Jayden's number to another player." The statement from Daniels' spokesperson said Jayden and his family had every reason to believe that his number would remain a meaningful part of his LSU legacy and would be honored and protected in recognition of his extraordinary contributions to the university. Continues on. Jayden made it clear that he did not want his number given to another player, and he believed his wishes would be respected, the statement said. His Heisman Trophy winning season and everything he accomplished on and off the field cemented his place in LSU history. To see his number given to another player is incredibly disappointing and feels like a failure to honor the significance of what Jayden accomplished at LSU. Sources told ESPN that Daniels feels he is being treated differently than Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, whose number 9 jersey hasn't been worn at LSU since he won the Heisman Trophy and led LSU to a 15-0 record in college football playoff national championship in 2019. An LSU athletics department spokesperson declined to comment when reached by ESPN on Wednesday. Of course, they continue to discuss what Kiffin told the reporters last week, first fall camp practice, when he said that it had been promised to him when he signed to the Tigers in December of 2024 by the past staff before he got here. We've played that clip. We've talked about all of that. And then former LSU coach Brian Kelly told ESPN on Wednesday that he believed number 5 was promised to Pickett during his recruitment, but Kelly chose not to issue it to him because Daniels wasn't on board with Pickett wearing his number. The quote is, "I just wasn't prepared to do it until we got a full commitment from another Heisman Trophy winner. We didn't want to issue number 9, so you can't treat one differently from the other." They continue to discuss the jerseys that are retired by LSU and the fact that only one jersey hasn't been worn again. And that is the number 20 jersey made famous by, of course, Billy Cannon, the first Heisman Trophy winning player in LSU history who also won a national championship with the Tigers. They then talk about basketball players that are retired. They bring up Skip Bertman's number 15 that is retired and have been permanently retired in their respective sports. They continued on. Accordingly, LSU must immediately cease and desist from any further issue, use, display, publication, distribution, promotion, commercialization, or other exploitation of Mr. Daniels' NIL in any manner or medium. Any use of Mr. Daniels' NIL occurring after LSU's receipt of this notice will be deemed knowing and willful and will be pursued vigorously through all available legal and equitable remedies without further notice. Sources told ESPN that LSU hasn't yet responded to the letter. That is the write-up, the cliff notes, the highlights of the ESPN article written by, I don't remember who it was with ESPN, but around Jayden Daniels, cease and desist. Allow me to say, I was definitely surprised to wake up to this morning and to read that this had been handled in this manner and that it was a cease and desist letter and all that article kind of laid out, because that was the first thing to really come out about this. I was surprised, and I will say upset, because I hate that this is now going to cloud, or what's already begun on social media, water down what Jayden Daniels' time at LSU meant, right? where it now is starting to, it puts a bad taste in LSU fans' mouth, and they can start to even disrespect what 2023 was, because that's where I want to start before we really dive into the rights and wrongs that we feel about this. What Jayden Daniels did in 2022 and 2023 was incredible. There were ups and downs, of course. There wasn't a lot of team success in those times, but you were coming off of a 2020 and a 2021 season where you went a combined, 11 and 12. You'd gotten throttled in a bowl game without a quarterback by Kansas State. And you go into 2022, and Jayden Daniels leads you to an SEC West win and a berth in the SEC championship game. You end that season 10-4. You go into the next year, and the defense is abysmal. But Jayden Daniels wills you to a, 9-3 because he didn't play in the bowl game. 9-3 record and wins the Heisman Trophy. And it was a fun time watching Jay. I don't ever want that to be because I hate that it is now shading or clouding that. How fun it was to watch Jayden Daniels. How fun it was to be a fan of Jayden Daniels in the purple and gold. But now, with this, when the name Jayden Daniels comes up at LSU, it's no longer going to be, man, that Florida game in 23 was something else. Or how he almost willed LSU to victory in Oxford with zero defense. Or the Missouri game where he had to crawl out of the end zone because he was hurting. All of the awesome things you got to experience. And now it's going to be, man, it looks like he's whining about that number. That's not me saying. I'm just saying that's where the storyline is going to go. I was upset to see this be the way it was handled because I feel like there are other ways to go about this because this is such a layered situation. So many aspects to it. When we kind of first heard about number 5 and Pickett was while we were in Tampa at SEC Media Days, and we had quite the conversation in the hotel room about it. I thought it was a pretty good. We kind of covered all the bases and went back and forth, and a really good discussion about it. And then whenever it happened, right, when DJ Pickett's in number 5, we talked about it on that show, and that's when you find out, look, Lane said it was promised by the last staff. They needed to honor that promise. And then now you get the new layer of what Brian Kelly is saying and all these things. It is such a layered discussion, and so many people are going to have so many opinions on it. And so now that the foundation of this discussion has been laid, I will now open the floodgates to reading some of the chat. But as well as you guys, if y'all have, if anyone wants to give their opinion on this first before we really, to get us started on diving into what's going to be a fun conversation, I feel, for the next probably 4 hours. Wyatt, you read it 8 times, so you probably know it better than anyone.
Yeah,
Your
it's
reaction.
just I agree with everything you said. I mean, it's just a shitty situation at the end of the day because he had such an amazing 2023 season, and I knew as soon as it came out last night that waking up this morning, you're going to go through, you're going to scroll Twitter, and there's going to be LSU fans that are just shitting on Jayden Daniels and the legacy that he left here at LSU. And look, I'm not saying that's right, wrong, or indifferent. I absolutely think that the way Jayden and his camp are handling this is not the way I would handle it. I think it is a little bit petty. I think it is a little bit soft. In the same breath, I do think he and his camp have every right to be a little upset and disappointed. If the article is correct in saying that Brian Kelly, kind of led on to the fact to Jayden that number 5 was never going to be worn again, and then to turn around and promise it to a high school recruit just months after he won the Heisman and then give that number out, that's not a great look from LSU's point of view. But at the end of the day, this is just not how you handle a situation like this. And it just makes me sad because I know there are LSU fans that will never forgive Jayden Daniels for this. When 20 years from now you'll talk to certain people about Jayden Daniels, and this will always be the first thing that comes up. And like you said, it's not about, oh, do you remember that Missouri game when he absolutely went off, or do you remember that Florida game when he absolutely went off? Do you remember when he got drafted number 2 overall, or his Heisman speech or anything like that? And it's just sad to see, the university that we all love so much and a player who is arguably the second greatest player in the history of the program. If he's not number 2, he's in the top 5 somewhere. And now they're on different planes and they're against each other. And I hope that sometime in the future, in the coming months, there can be some sort of resolution and they can get back on the same page.
Yeah, I agree. I hate the way that this is playing out.
Yeah.
It feels like this could have very easily been a conversation to be had behind the scenes.
Yes.
And not a report, a cease and desist, and a report by ESPN at 10:30 p.m. one night, during when the news wire slowed down a little bit. I hate that that's the way it played out, because ultimately, the way it's going to be viewed, and it's a little petty, like a cease and desist of. And to the public and ESPN, and it's just kind of, it feels petty, right? Like, it feels like, wow, they gave my here's what I'll do.
Right.
When ultimately, that's just the way it feels. And look, I'm not saying LSU's right or wrong by giving the number out. Like I said, that aspect of it is a very layered situation, with one staff saying one thing to one player, and then the next staff, and so many things going on. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying right or wrong there whatsoever, but the way this is being handled, a cease and desist publicly with the threat of further litigation and vigorous legal pursuit, feels petty.
I guess they could retroactively go back and what would they claim? Like, 'cause you can't sue for anything about the number. You don't legally have any ties to it. But I guess if they wanted to look back at when the NIL thing expired and everything that LSU was used for him since, that could be something that they could do. But at the face of this is that, sure, it's a layered situation, and a lot of things had to go wrong for this to have happened. But it's something that ultimately slip through the cracks. You would hope that this would never happen, and I don't think this is so much a Jayden Daniels thing, I think, as much as this is camp thing, because like I said, you can't sue about the number, but this whole thing's about the number.
Yeah. And
look, there were promises made, and it's funny how this whole thing came out, because I think Wyatt said this yesterday when we were texting about it. It was at some point this was going to happen because of the promise that was made. So whenever Lane Kiffin has media availability, which the first time you see it, that he took it off. And it was don't put those pictures out, don't do whatever. And then he goes and is able to address it about, look, a former staff did this. I'm not one to take away something that was promised to him, and I'll just put it to bed there. And that's where it felt like there was a great, healthy, fun debate for us, right? Oh, is it too early? Is it time? And those are all the conversations that are warranted because of LSU's process is, you kind of shelf it for a little bit. Nobody's actually retired except for Billy Cannon. And so you go through that whole deal of, when will it be worn again if it ever is? It's kind of felt like it was never going to be touched again. But, of course, in true only LSU fashion, that number was actually promised to somebody else that it's a big deal to him, too. He's worn his entire life. And that's why you shouldn't retire numbers, because that could be a thing that down the road could come back and bite you. But it's just something that came from a previous promise from somebody that had no clue about what he was doing in recruiting when Brian Kelly is the one that has to be reached for comment. And he goes, oh, yeah, we did that, but ultimately I decided not to. And it's well, you did make the same promise, though, and then you broke the promise. Right. And now, of course, when a new staff comes in, it's well within DJ Pickett's right to be hey, first of all, I'm being heavily courted by other teams. That's no secret. Mm-hmm. We don't really know what's going on at LSU. Right? There's no head coach. I don't know who's going to be retained. And then whenever you meet with a new head coach, and it becomes like this is the conversation you re-up NIL, and you're like, by the way, I don't really trust the program right now because everything that happened last year, not only was it bad, but also like y'all made promises to me that you couldn't keep or deliver on. Like I don't think DJ Pickett knew that number 5 was quote unquote retired. It's like it's a fair ask if you want to ask for it. It was well within LSU's right to tell him no, or Brian Kelly's right to tell him no, but he doesn't understand the significance of it either, and said, oh, yeah, we'll get to that whenever we get there. And then now whenever he gets reached for comment, he's like, oh, I had to wait for another Heisman winner. Like, you didn't know what you were going to do or what you were going to say or that you even made the promise because you weren't paying attention. And so that's where ultimately the buck stops with the head coach. He was the head coach. This is at his feet. And for LSU fans, you really can't be mad. Like, if this had come from Jayden Daniels' mouth, if he had said it on a public platform, not a cease and desist from Jayden Daniels' team, get as mad as you want at Jayden Daniels. This is not on him. This is somebody that is clearly steering his ship for him, and he doesn't have the nuts to say anything about it. So this is the way that it's going, and I feel bad for Jayden Daniels' legacy at LSU because of everything he did, and we were talking about it before. Kids won't know who Jayden Daniels is if it goes this way because he won't ever be on a video board. He won't be in any promotions. He won't be on NFLSU. Like all the things that you get to see growing up whenever you go to football games in Tiger Stadium as if you're a 5-year-old, a 7-year-old, where it's maybe it's a little bit older than like what you were cognizant of. But by the time that you have somebody to teach you what is good and what legends are at LSU, you don't get to have that conversation because 5 won't pop up on the scoreboard. And when it does, or if it does, it won't be him. Jayden Daniels will never like make an appearance at LSU again. He will never be on any video board. He'll never be seen on campus. And that's ultimately at the feet of Jayden Daniels' camp. If you want to tarnish your legacy that way, you have to take back and have some perspective about what's going on and what's truly important. And that's what you did at LSU. It was Jayden Daniels, not number 5. Like, that's where this whole thing is kind of blown out of proportion because let's not forget who the player was, and you're so petty about this that you're willing to let go his legacy at LSU all because of a misunderstanding of a number.
But shouldn't Jayden Daniels step in and tell his camp something? Like, that's just kind of like...
That's never been his personality, though.
But he's just going to let them shit on his LSU legacy, and he's not... Like, I feel like he would say something. That's why I feel like he almost has a part in it a little bit of, like...
I mean, of course, there's
he should say something if that... Because that... He knows, like, that his camp knows that. Like, this is something that
but you got to understand, I mean, people operate under that their camp has their best interests at heart. And he obviously, the people he has around, he trusts them. Like, I mean, and look, when we say camp, can we, like...
It's a mom.
It's his mom, right? A lot of... That's a pretty complicated situation. Allegedly, not... But we know that his mom is a big part. It's his camp. His mom is a large part of his camp. We know that. And so allegedly it could be her in this situation. That's a tough place to be if your mom is telling you something is right and you've got to sit there and you've got to be like, no, don't do that. Like, it's just, and I'm not saying Jayden gets off free in this situation. The way Jayden Daniels' camp, which he is a part of because he is Jayden Daniels, is handling this is wrong. Ultimately, that is the part I'm upset about most, is that this is not being handled correctly. Because I remember sitting, I was on the balcony. We were talking about it last week on Thursday. And I was like, look, it was a promise to give out 5. Lane is honoring that promise. I'll be interested to see how it gets handled after the fact. Because I felt like the way this was being discussed from the DJ Pickett standpoint was we needed to honor this promise. It left the door open to, I'm not guaranteeing this number gets given out every year. But this was a promise we had to honor. I thought potentially it happens right now. DJ Pickett say he gets 7 next year or he plays in 5 again. Once he goes and he's a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, then you revisit the way you handle the number 5. But there was a promise by former staff that needed to be honored because we're not going to promise to recruit something at LSU that can't be honored. I thought Kiffin handled it, spoke on it. I hate the way this is currently playing out because this is not the way to handle it. Right or wrong when the number being given out, you can get into the number 5 versus number 9 debate all you want. You can whatever. The way this is being handled is the ultimate problem. It should not be a public cease and desist via ESPN that becomes a breaking news national story when it could easily be handled in a much more beneficial way for both sides. Because and look, I know social media kind of skews towards your opinion a lot of the times, but I haven't seen many people say this is a good look.
Who do you think's in charge of this shit?
Allegedly.
I
haven't seen many people that look at this as in a positive light for Jayden, and that's the part that sucks. Because we should be able to look at Jayden's time at LSU in a positive light, even though there were some crappy you had some crappy games, you lost some games, right? You didn't win a national championship. You didn't get all that you could that LSU's been able to experience. It was the one bright spot in a crappy 4 years. When Brian Kelly got here, the 4 years that followed sucked besides one thing, and that was Jayden Daniels playing football and throwing to BT and Malik and Kyron. That was the one shining light in this last 4 years, what was disgusting. And it sucks that now that shining light has to be dimmed because of this being handled in this manner. And that doesn't mean that LSU's right in giving the number out or wrong. It's wrong to promise the number 2 years after someone wins a Heisman. I felt like, in the moment, the first conversation we ever had about this when we were in Tampa 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I thought it was too soon to give it out. Mm-hmm. And then when Lane took the podium and said it was promised, I said, well, you have to honor that promise. If Lane is now creating, if LSU promises you something in recruiting, you get it. There's proof in the pudding. And so I understood that. And my take was, I want to see how it gets handled after the fact. Now it is a mess when it doesn't have to be. And I hate it. Like it really upset me this morning reading it, thinking about it, because it doesn't have to play out this way. It doesn't have to become a Joe Burrow, Jayden Daniels debate. Right? Like, it doesn't have to be a debate between two great quarterbacks in LSU, the two greatest quarterbacks in LSU history. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to become that. But now it is. Because in the ESPN article, that's being specifically brought up. Well, they're not giving out 9. Why are they giving out 5? And this was bound to be a conversation at some point because it just so happened the 2 jersey numbers that had been retired, that hadn't been given out, 20 and 9, just so happened to fit a certain criteria. They were your only 2 Heisman winners, and with that, they also won national championships. Well, then came the conversation of, now there's a player who has won a Heisman, but not the national championship. And so is the jersey retirement a Heisman thing or is a Heisman and Natty thing? And I agree. Them not winning a national championship is not Jayden's fault. That man literally did everything he could to get him there. I mean, like, we can run through the season. Like, he did everything he could. It wasn't his fault. But at the same time, that's the conversation, is what is the criteria for a jersey to be retired?
Well, my whole thing and we've talked about this for months, like, if you're going to have your number retired, I feel like that's the high, and, like, no one ever wear it. Because obviously, like, the 7 just got retired, but people are still going to wear it. If you're going to have it retired and no one ever wear it again, I feel like that's the highest honor a university can bestow on you. So in order to earn that, I feel like you have to achieve the highest level at your sport, which is a national championship and a Heisman. No one's sitting here saying that Jayden Daniels is the reason LSU didn't win a Heisman. But there's a certain level of impact that comes along with this, and Jayden Daniels inherently did not have as much impact on LSU and the fan base because he didn't win a national championship. Whether it's his fault or Matt House's fault, it's not his fault. It's Matt House's fault,
right?
Of course,
Brian Kelly's fault,
right? And that's the thing that I think is interesting about this. So many people are taking sides just based on whether they think 5 should or shouldn't be retired. I have been staunchly against retiring number 5 in the recent months. I don't think that has anything to do with this argument, because if LSU said they were going to do it, then I feel like you have to keep a promise. Like you said, we came on here last week. Well, I was in Destin, but you guys came on here last week and talked about DJ Pickett getting number 5. If someone promised DJ Pickett that he could wear number 5, he should be able to wear number 5. In the same way that, regardless if you think number 5 should be retired or not, if you told Jayden Daniels you were going to honor his number and no one was ever going to wear it again, then you should do it.
Right.
The problem is that you made a promise, 2 promises, I guess, that were mutually exclusive that you couldn't keep.
Couldn't keep either of them.
Couldn't keep either of them.
Like,
because you didn't give DJ Pickett the
5,
number in year
right.
1, and then you also gave it away and screwed Jayden.
Right.
And you have disrespected Jayden a little bit. So, like, I agree. LSU is not completely innocent in this. Like, they messed over this entire situation, and now the biggest thing that sucks about it, people are now going to hate Jayden Daniels. And look, I don't like the way they are handling this at all. And I do agree with Christian, regardless of who this is, his mom, his camp, whatever, at a certain point, you got to be a man. And, like, whatever happens, you've got to be able to say, like, this is wrong. Like, you have to know whatever happens here, you are going to be the person who is put behind it. Right? So if this is something your mom's doing, like, you've got to be able to be a man and step up and be like, no, I don't want to do this. But the other thing that sucks about it is, like, now DJ Pickett and Lane Kiffin are in really weird situations because of this. Like, it's not the end of the world for them, but they didn't do anything wrong, and now they're going to be put at the forefront of this. Right. Lane Kiffin came in and honored a promise that was given to a kid on his team, and DJ Pickett simply asked for a number in recruiting, which is not uncommon. That happens all the time. Tennessee just paid a running back $3 million, right, and promised him number 0. There's a lot of people who believe on the Ohio State side of things that kid didn't go to Ohio State because he wanted to wear number 0 and they couldn't promise it to him. That is something that happens in college football. But you made 2 mutually exclusive promises to 2 separate parties within a year of each other and didn't keep either of them.
No, and that's the part, because I'm not saying Jayden shouldn't be upset about it.
Right.
Because genuinely to me, when I first found out that 5 was going to be given to Pickett, I thought it was too soon. Because what Jayden did was impressive. It's something only 3 people have ever done at LSU. Only in a storied program, a storied history, only 3 people have ever won a Heisman. It is a big deal. What he did is beyond impressive.
Yes.
But also,
and go ahead.
Well, it wasn't as if, like you say, too soon. That only becomes more and more of a question mark the longer you wait, right? And if they said they were never going to give it out again, but then Brian Kelly also said, I was waiting to give it to another Heisman winner. Like, what does that mean? Like, you watch him in camp and you're like,
well, he was waiting to get it confirmed by a Heisman winner. Like, he wanted to get a full commitment from
Jayden saying, like, okay, you can give it out.
Like, the reason he didn't give it to DJ is because after it had been promised, he went to Jayden. Like, this is all he said, she said.
Yeah.
Right.
Went to Jayden. Jayden said he didn't want to do it, so he didn't give it to him.
okay.
Because I read it like you the first couple of times.
Right,
I was like, what do you mean how can you give
Right.
it to a Heisman winner before he wins the Heisman?
He wanted Jayden's approval,
Right.
according to him. Right.
Because he's passing the buck as
this
well.
this is a lot of he said, she said. Because we don't know what promises were made. We're hearing what are being said these promises were. None of us were in the room. We don't know. And so it's
At the end of the day, the reason that this is, look, whoever, like y'all said, Jayden is complicit in part of this. I just don't think he spearheaded this entire thing.
No, of course not.
But because you would have to be a fool to think that in the court of public opinion, you versus LSU, that you're going to topple LSU and LSU football. Everybody has clearly made up their mind one way or another, and I think that one way is, all right, fine, whatever, LSU again. Like, I'm not going to pick Jayden Daniels in this fight, despite of everything that he's done. But, like, it's more so, like, trying to tell him and plead with him, like, don't do this to yourself, because the brand lives on. It continues to go, and your number's already gone. So there's really nothing you can do except remove yourself from the program wholly. And if that's the way you want to go, if that's how upset you are, goodbye. There's nothing you can do about it because you're not letting yourself be a part of the program.
Yeah.
There is a compromise to be made. What is it? I don't know. This is unfortunate, but At some point, like, people aren't going to give a fuck anymore. If DJ Pickett wears 5 and he balls out and he becomes an All-American and a Thorpe winner, guess who I'm going to think of? DJ Pickett. And guess what? Somebody else will get it after him. Like, look at all of the good numbers LSU has.
Right. There's one over your shoulder right now that I feel like has carries a lot of weight, and it's been given out every year.
And whether
the branding of that number with the guy that it literally was all eyes on 3. Like that was the brand. That was the branding of it. Was like, because for Jayden, it was that kid Jayden. Like, I'm not getting into this whole number thing. I don't want to be like, are you numbered? Do you own the number or not? But like, I mean, Kevin Falk did a whole lot for LSU. His number's still getting given out, like year in, year out. You know what I mean? Like, there is no current era of LSU without Kevin Falk. And I know he wasn't a Heisman winner, the whole thing. But ultimately, numbers are numbers. The issue is promises are promises. There are all this he said, she said about the promises. And ultimately now, my biggest issue is just with the way it's being handled. Because this could have been handled much quieter. Mm-hmm. Much more mature. It didn't have to be out in public, like a big neon sign in the sky, LSU getting a cease-and-desist letter from a former Heisman winner. And there's the promises here and promises there, and there's a former coach that's at fault for some of these things, and all of it. Like,
you don't think that if it comes down to it, Brian Kelly knows he's very much on the hot seat as struggling to get recruits, and that's something that is on the table as I can lie about this later. And, like, yeah, if that helps move the needle for DJ Pickett to promise him 5, I'm going to do it.
Right.
And it's because I need to win something. Like, I need DJ Pickett on my team because if he doesn't go to LSU, like, where are you now? And if that's part of this conversation, would you rather have Jayden Daniels happy about number 5 not being worn or DJ Pickett?
No, I mean, and I think that's I'm
asking.
I'm saying that's the predicament that Lane got put in, because I feel like that's more on Lane than it is on BK.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna pick the guy that
because now the one that's playing for me, like that's because I feel like that conversation actually falls more on Lane's plate, because it puts Lane and DJ in a very, very interesting position.
Yeah.
Because this is all being played out very public about a coach that has no weight in any of this, didn't coach the last player, didn't make the promise. And a player who was just made promises by adults. Mm-hmm. And so what? Now, should DJ Pickett say, you know what, hand up, I'll go back to 3? So we're expecting a 19-year-old to be the adult in the conversation?
I hope he does that. Just
like, and
that
so
would be
it's
a spit in the face to that whole situation. I hope he does that.
And so it's just a big mess that doesn't have to be happening, right? Like, there's just... This doesn't have to be the case. Like, it doesn't, and that's the thing that I guess on the, in some of these other conversations of it, there's a pretty big football season getting ready to get started. Mm-hmm. And a lot of situations like these can cause a lot of distraction and discussion and all these things, especially when it brings your head coach and one of your star players into it. And you can't allow for these things to cause issues during the season. And that's where, like, I feel confident in the serious program that's being run at LSU by Lane Kiffin, however people want to paint it. And ultimately, if Lane goes and is successful at LSU and wins a national championship or 2, whenever, right? If that this kind of all is a little bit quieter. Mm-hmm. It's loud right now because no games have been played. And you can bring this new head coach and this new team into it and say, well, Lane's the one that's giving the number out. Lane's the one at LSU disrespecting the history and the tradition or whatever. Well, if Lane goes and wins a national championship, this kind of isn't as big of a deal. The biggest issue in this whole thing is just the way it's being handled. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of pointing fingers and choosing sides and whatever. LSU's at fault. Brian Kelly led LSU's at fault. There's promises that are being made back and forth that we don't really know because none of us were in those rooms. We're all reading the same articles and listening to the same press conference. So we're hearing promises. We don't know. Brian Kelly is saying that's why I handled it that way. Who knows if it's the truth? He also said Nussmeier was on the back end of his injury.
It only takes one.
And he wasn't healthy until July. There's the he said, she said, and the pointing fingers. Ultimately, the biggest issue is just the way it's all playing out.
I would love to see litigation between Jayden Daniels' mom and Brian Kelly on the stand. I'm going to watch that.
Because that's the unfortunate part about the whole thing is ultimately what really comes out, like what really comes from this? Like what really comes out of this?
Nothing.
How does
Everyone loses.
How does this play out in Jayden's favor at all?
It doesn't. Yeah.
If LSU says,
never felt like
if LSU says, you know what, we'll take 5 off of them and we will not give it out again. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that would make Jayden happy. I don't feel like that puts Jayden in a very good PR light because it's like, what?
So he bitched about his number. He
like that's how people are going to report on it, you
And
know.
you're losing
And I'm not
money.
saying where I'm saying it's right or wrong, but like that people are going to report that way about things. They're going to paint a picture because that's what people do, right? And so I don't know if there's literally the way this is playing out. There is a win situation in it for anybody. Mm-hmm. All it is a big mess that doesn't have to happen. Because for Jayden, okay. The LSU, you know what? LSU will listen. They won't play anything Jayden Daniels in the stadium. They'll take your pictures off the wall. They'll do that when NFL LSU comes up. The Commanders will pop up and it'll be everyone but Jayden Daniels. Erase the history of Jayden Daniels
take
at
you
LSU.
out the quarterback room.
Like, who does that benefit? Genuinely, nobody. Like it benefits nobody. Because you can remove the highlights and the videos all you want. I sat and watched 2023. I watched the Heisman ceremony. Like, okay, Jayden Daniels highlights won't get played in a hype video. That sucks because he had some pretty cool highlights. But LSU will just play other highlights. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the part where it's just like, I just don't understand why it needs to play out like this because how do you win? How do you come out on top? Who does this benefit? Because not playing Jayden Daniels LSU highlights or putting him in any branding or whatever, it doesn't benefit anybody. And it really doesn't hurt LSU that much to not play the highlights. Like it sucks, but it's like okay.
I mean, does he want the replica Heisman?
Like that, have it. Like that's the thing. Like this is all just it's so petty. It's so minor. All of these things, like for it to play out like this. Like that's the part where that's my biggest issue with the whole thing. I know that people can feel how they feel about the number and it being given out and the 9-5, the whatever. I don't forget all of it. The way it's playing out just doesn't help anyone. Like genuinely, it just doesn't.
I think it hurts both sides.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose.
If anything. Yeah, you're the kid in this situation. Your parents are getting divorced, and they're being petty about it. Like that's how this situation reads to me because Jayden, like he's sacrificing some of his NIL. I think he makes less money off of this just to kind of send a message. And then from the LSU side of things, like does it hurt LSU a ton? No, I don't think it's the end of the world, but you want to be able to put your name and your branding behind one of your 3 Heisman winners, of course. Like, you want to be able to have Jayden Daniels in the stadium and on the wall next to the locker room where it says All Americans and, you know, the Davy O'Brien awards and stuff like that.
I would assume all that can stay up, I would think.
No.
I don't think it can.
There's no, like...
That's what I would do.
But that's not, like, to me, this is all, like... branding and all the I would think those things can stay on the wall.
I don't think LSU is able to make any sort of like commission off of his name. Like we don't have permission to use his name, image, and likeness.
So you can't keep on the Davy O'Brien Award trophy on the wall. You can't have him up there.
No,
like it's legit because that's the part that I just don't understand. Because like that LSU's not making commission off that by having that up.
They are.
How?
Because if name, image, that's his name, image, and likeness. He owns the rights to himself.
Right.
You get those for, and nobody's ever retroactively tried to claim these back.
Right.
But you can if you want. If you take that down, I signed that deal for 180 days after I'm done playing. I don't want you using any of my stuff. You can't use my name, image, or likeness because it helps the brand to have a Heisman winner around.
Of course.
And certainly to be on the wall. If it's helping LSU in any way that you could see him, that
so stupid.
You're like, no, take it down, and he can go that as far as he wants with that.
But to me, if I'm
LSU, I take it. It's already gone.
Well, no, if I'm LSU, of course, like if you're LSU, it sucks because you want to be able to, like Wyatt said, you want to be able to put your name and your brand by a Heisman Trophy winner and all of those things. But yes, if you're LSU, you take it all down because you're LSU. At the end of the day, you're LSU. You are bigger than whatever.
Right.
That's where I really got upset because that's like Jayden. It's just
that's
when
why
I think of Jayden, I think of his time at LSU. It was a guy that wasn't all about himself, and he was about his teammates, and he went and played in the Florida game when he was coming off a concussion, didn't have to play, right? He was crawling out of the end zone against Missouri because he's literally crawling them to victory, right? Like all of those things. Why would you want to remove this part of history? Because guess what? What has LSU done for you? Right? Mm-hmm. Like, am I wrong in saying that? Like, what is if Jayden Daniels removes the history of his time at LSU? I mean, was Jayden Daniels going to be the number 2 pick when he was coming out of Arizona State?
Who knows? But he was at LSU.
Like that's my like. Why are we removing that? That's
he
where it's
became
just
that at LSU.
The way this is all playing out. That it's wrong because nobody wins. Like ultimately, it's a mess that just doesn't benefit anybody. Mm-hmm. And so, I hate the way that this is going to stir up the finger pointing, the he said, she said, the discussions of the promises, the attacks on different people's character. Like I don't like that. That's what this is all going to stir up because it's just being handled wrong. Like.
I'm
McGee says it in the chat. I mean, so they can't play the Mason Taylor play on the Jumbotron.
They can play the catch.
Yeah, they just you can't have Jayden Daniels in it.
Like that sucks. But at the same time, LSU's had other cool plays.
We got plenty in the bank.
I'm kind like this is where I'm a little bit more pissed off than y'all at Jayden. Like we say it's his camp, whatever. This is where I'm like, grow the fuck up, dude, because the single thing we have sought to destroy is like vigilantes and all this being podcasters around LSU is people who think they're bigger than LSU. That was the whole discussion around Brian Kelly. That was the whole discussion around that situation, that regime, Matt House, all of that. We sought to destroy that. Now we have a player from that team, essentially his camp, coming out saying he's bigger than LSU. Now, if he's saying it, I don't know, whatever. This might not have been in the works very long. He might not even have had a chance because he's at his own training camp right now to even think about this or whatever. But if this continues the way it's going with him knowing about the situation, not stepping in and doing something about it, fuck him too, because that's
no,
and he's done incredible things.
No,
but he's acting bigger than LSU, and we sought to destroy that for the last 4 years with Brian Kelly. So now it's a player that's won a Heisman, he gets a pass. No,
he's not getting a pass, but you got
he's done incredible things.
The
I
layers
agree
to this situation,
but he's not stepping in and growing up and saying something about this because this is essentially saying he's bigger than LSU. The biggest problem we have with people around the program that have done this in the past.
I agree. I don't disagree with that point whatsoever.
He's doing it to himself. Like if he
but you've got to understand, it's not just him. Like that is the conversation that we go at. Like think of the Nico Amalivialova, whatever his name is, situation. Who is at fault in that situation?
It was his uncle,
Nico.
I think it was his dad.
It's his
dad. But it was his camp, right?
Okay.
Like ultimately, like it's not. That's the situation that I don't want to get into, of the attacks on Jayden and his character. Because that should not be the situation. That should not be the case. This is a layered situation with the numbers and the whole thing. It shouldn't be handled like this. Does Jayden play a part in it? Yes. Is Jayden Daniels a part of the Jayden Daniels camp? Yes. Is it unfortunate that it's playing out in a manner that it is? Yes. But ultimately, there are plenty of fingers to point. If you want to point them at Jayden, they can be pointed at Brian Kelly. People can point fingers at Lane Kiffin. They can point them at DJ Pickett. People can point fingers at whoever they want in this situation because there are so many different layers to it. I understand that Jayden Daniels is a part of the Jayden Daniels camp. But I don't think Jayden Daniels is having hour-long phone calls with his lawyer right now.
That's where I'm like, I don't even think he's worried about this. Right? Like
I don't think he is. I mean, the video he was at training camp telling the guys to cut the DJ because the music was bad.
If Jayden actually reviewed this, I don't think he would be saying. Now in the future, he will touch this. Like he will. No, it's unfortunate the way it's playing out. I think it will change in the future, but
he's going to get asked about it in a press conference. I believe Lane has a press conference today. Mm-hmm. He'll get asked about it after practice. Like this is all going to continue to play out as the days go on. And it's just so, Lloyd, can you change the camera? So extremely unfortunate the way it's all playing out. Like that's my biggest issue. Because I know everyone's going to point fingers, and everyone's entitled to point fingers at whoever they want to point them at. If you want to point him at Jayden, you want to point him at his camp, do that. You want to point him at Brian Kelly, do that. If you want to point him at Lane Kiffin, sure. If you want to point fingers at Joe Burrow, sure. If you want to point fingers at whoever, fine. But ultimately, the way this is all playing out is the issue. And I don't think that any of this, I saw a report from Wilson Alexander via On3 that, I'll read it here verbatim. It was over at On3. Wilson Alexander reposted it. Pete Nakos reported it. LSU cornerback DJ Pickett is currently expected to continue wearing number 5 despite a letter from Jayden Daniels' attorney to the school.
And he's going to get – people are going to be mad about that. And people are going to blame DJ Pickett. And it's not DJ Pickett's fault. DJ Pickett did nothing wrong.
People are
especially like you at – go ahead.
I think the biggest thing ultimately is this is all fodder and what solves this whole situation? Because I do think like there will be people that point fingers at DJ Pickett or get upset with him when they shouldn't. Right? Or point fingers at Lane and get upset with Lane when really Lane had nothing to do with this. Win. Like it all comes back to the Lane Kiffin era at LSU.
Right.
Win. Just win. And look, Brandon Hogsworth said it. We said it earlier. Like, DJ could sit back and say, you know what? I won't do it. I won't wear 5. I won't wear 3. But it shouldn't be a 19-year-old having to make that. Like, he shouldn't have to be the adult in the room. People can point fingers at whoever they want. And for LSU, this next era of LSU, just win. If you just win, all of this becomes much quieter. If you just win. And to do that, you can't let any of this stuff in the locker room. Mm-hmm. This cannot be allowed to be a distraction to the team. Cannot be allowed to be a mess for Lane, for DJ. We have a couple of super chats that I'm going to go through here. $5 super chat from Chase Allman. 5 claps. Ready. 5 claps. You'll be hearing from my mother, he says. The Raging Poon. $5 super chats. 5 claps. Ready. Petty on his part, but BK effed up. LSU made JD 5, not the other way around. No one is bigger than LSU. Ask TM7. He is getting into Eli Apple territory. Okay. Cajun Curveball, $10 super chat, 10 claps, ready. I hope Jayden sues LSU for millions. If you don't want to respect his number, then give him his Heisman. Don't display it and take down all of this stuff in football ops. Joe asked for his number not to be worn. Cajun Curveball, $5 super chat, 5 claps, ready. This is a disgusting mess for LSU, 1 of 3 in LSU history, and you are going to disrespect them. This is absolutely disgusting. Do better, LSU. Ultimately, I mean, to the $10 super chat, if you don't want to respect his number, give him his Heisman and don't display and take down all the stuff in football ops. That's essentially what Jayden's asking for.
Yeah.
Like, if they're going to give out the number, take all the stuff down. And I'm sure LSU will comply, and it sucks. Like, that's the part where there's not a winner in this. There's not a winner. There's also, don't think there's any grounds. If DJ wears 5 and LSU just takes all the Jayden stuff down, I don't think there's any grounds to sue LSU. Mm-hmm. If LSU acquiesces and says, yeah, from a name, image, likeness standpoint, we won't display Jayden's name, image, or likeness, there's no grounds to sue. And if you're LSU, I'm sure that's how they'll handle it. Because like I said, they'll replace the highlights with the other highlights. And that just so happens to be, like, I just don't think there's going to be grounds to sue LSU for millions of dollars. Because I was reading a lawyer on Twitter earlier today. Let's see if I can find where I think I sent it to y'all. Darren Heitner, founder of Heitner Legal, focusing on sports, entertainment, intellectual property, and business law, teach NIL at Miami Law. And he put out a tweet. Says, Jayden Daniels and his lawyer have no legal claim. And look, I'm just reading what a lawyer on Twitter posted. This is not me. This is not – I don't have a legal brain. I don't know any of this stuff. Jayden Daniels and his lawyer have no legal claim to exclusive control over the jersey number at LSU, the QB wore for 2 seasons at LSU. This is a ridiculous claim and a terrible look. The cease-and-desist really shows how absurd this is. It purportedly demands that LSU stop using Daniels' name, image, and likeness, citing a contractual window that expired 180 days after his final college game, which closed long ago. It appears to be an emotional reaction, not a cause of action. Re-signing a number to another athlete does not constitute use of Daniels' NIL. The letter intends to be leveraged. It fails in that respect. In reality, it's an attempt to convert a personal preference into a legal threat after the contractual rights already lapsed. Lane Kiffin said the number was promised to DJ Pickett during recruiting. Schools regularly make those commitments. Invoking an expired NIL clause is weak at best. The irony is that this only hurts Jayden's NIL value. Unless LSU is actively marketing Pickett as the new Jayden Daniels or invoking Jayden Daniels' name, image, and connection with the number,
DJ5.
There's no identifiable use of Daniels' NIL happening. It's just a number on a jersey. If this ever gets tested, it should be an easy win for LSU. The common thread in cases like this, where plaintiffs had a colorable claim, is that the number was bundled with other identifying characteristics and tied to an actual commercial use of the plaintiff's identity. LSU giving DJ Pickett the number 5 involves no other identifying marker, no depiction of Daniels, and no commercial exploitation of Daniels' identity at all. It's just a number granted in the ordinary course of running a roster. But I do look forward to Daniels pursuing this matter vigorously through all available legal and equitable remedies without further notice.
That's what he looks forward to.
I'm about to follow that guy.
Heitner continued to say, it seems very smart. Let's see. Because he continued to speak. He also said, it's been pointed out to me that Jayden Daniels is upset that LSU gave away his number, but the focus should be on his demand that LSU immediately cease and desist from any further use, display, publication, distribution, promotion, commercialization, or other exploitation of his NIL in any manner or medium. That's a good point, but no court is going to require LSU to erase Daniels from its institutional history. Recounting his participation in LSU's history is protected speech about a matter of legitimate public interest, not commercial appropriation. Even when the institution profits indirectly from the broader publication or broadcast in which that information appears, it's historical/archival use, it's truthful and newsworthy. However, if LSU were to actively commercially exploit Daniels' NIL in a way that suggests he is currently promoting LSU merch, tickets, fundraising campaigns, or a specific product, then that could create problems for the school. There are no concerns in my mind until that occurs, and I'm confident LSU lawyers won't allow that to happen. If Jayden Daniels' demand is based on LSU's alleged improper use of his NIL beyond 180-day post-expiration period, then why has he sat on his hands for so long? His lawyer admits the grace period has long expired. Is it because this is merely retaliatory? Yes. And so that's a lawyer using a whole lot of big words that I don't know the meaning to all of them, but ultimately, like, that's from a legal standpoint.
Whose team is he on?
I think he teaches at Miami.
Oh, he's just okay.
He's just a lawyer that's
impartial.
interested in the case.
Okay.
He teaches NIL at Miami Law. And so ultimately, from a legal standpoint, to the $10 Super Chat's point of hoping LSU gets sued for millions, unless LSU starts putting Jayden Daniels up on billboards saying, Jayden Daniels says buy LSU season tickets, which I don't think LSU's going to do.
In a 5 jersey.
In a 5 jersey. Then I think they'll be okay. Cajun Curveball, $5 Super Chat, 5 claps, ready. It looks bad on LSU. You're going to argue with one of your best 2 QBs in history over a jersey number, man. How does that look to recruits? We dumb. Ultimately, like I said, the number situation is the number situation, right or wrong. The way this is playing out publicly is the problem. Raging Poon, $2 Super Chat, 2 claps, ready. Curveball's Rico, Rico's curveball, same dumb takes. I do miss Rico.
He could be
I
right.
do miss Rico. Gage Evans, 27, or Gage E27, sorry. Government name.
Doxed him.
Gage E27. My bad.
NIL.
My bad. He had he's gonna sue me. $2 Super Chat, 2 claps, ready. This has got to be Brian Kelly's fault. I think Brian Kelly has a hand in it. Like, that's what I'm saying. There's fingers to be pointed. Everyone is entitled to their own emotions and feelings and can point fingers at whoever they want. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, my biggest problem today is that it's being handled the way it is. I thought LSU shouldn't have gave the number out. I also believe LSU shouldn't make promises, not honor them. Mm-hmm. Now I know that there were 2 promises made, both not being honored. That's also a bad look. That's a bad look on LSU. That promises were made by an LSU coach or LSU staff members, and if you told Jayden you weren't going to give that number out without his approval, then the promise should have never been made for another player to get that number.
Oh, it's just, I mean,
like that's what, and so there are fingers to point everywhere. There are many different people at fault if you want to paint that picture. Ultimately, my biggest issue was the way it played out. Gage docks me, bro, sitting cease and desist right now.
There we go. Perfect.
You've got no grounds to stand on, Gage.
Yeah.
What's your number? 37.
27.
But it's also funny that this whole thing is going to continue to play out, and if we are right about Lane Kiffin and how he handles some of these situations, it will be a non-starter. Somebody will ask, and it'll be like, I already talked about this. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. We'll let the legal process play itself out. Right?
I mean, he's going to say this. What did he say last week? They asked him about Prince Will and Harper, and he said, that sounds like a legal matter. I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah, perfect.
Right.
I mean, like, that's ultimately that's what he's going to say. Like,
and then I guess they'll ask Pickett at some point.
He might say DJ's going to wear 5.
Yeah. And then DJ just be like, look, it is what it is.
No, I mean, if DJ changes his first name from DJ to JD, then there's a problem, maybe. I don't know.
Jayden Daniels Pickett. Nice.
But I think it's not, like, those things aren't going to happen.
No, then they're going to ask Joe Burrow about 9. He's be like, what are you asking me this about?
I don't think Pickett demanded a number. I think the number was promised to Pickett. He wants 5. And honestly,
he clearly didn't.
In recruiting, he kind of was in a position because he could have just gone somewhere else. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. LSU shouldn't have promised a number to a player that if a promise had already been made, that number wasn't going to be given out. I'm not saying LSU's not at fault here. Like I'm saying, fingers can be pointed all over the place. You don't make a promise to a player you don't intend to keep, and then don't follow it up with a promise that literally contradicts the promise you just made. But at the same time, I wasn't there for any of the promises. Ultimately, my thing, I want to get this football season started so they can start winning football games and all of this can be quieted down and the Brian Kelly era can be washed away.
Expunged.
Because ultimately, that's what this is another representation of that era of LSU football that is a problem and was bad for LSU.
Right.
Because these things continue to happen. Lawsuits. These things continue to happen. Horatio Il Savasto. Sorry if I say that right.
I think that was nailed it.
Nice.
Yeah. Horatio
$5 super chat. 5 claps. Ready. Was Lane even aware of the agreement? Did anybody even tell him? How can we be sure that it wasn't a word of mouth deal with BK? No, that's what I'm saying. Like none of us were in these rooms.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I wasn't sitting in there when BK talked to Jayden about 5. I wasn't sitting there when BK or whoever was in the room with DJ promising that number.
Yeah, which agreement? There's 2.
But I mean, it seemed like it seemed like in the article, Brian Kelly kind of acknowledged both promises and that both happened. And neither of them were kept.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, because you promised Jayden you weren't going to give the number out, and then you didn't keep that promise because you promised the kid his number. But then you didn't keep that promise because you didn't give the kid that number.
I love that.
Well,
Like, it's just...
I think there's a bigger conversation to be had, and I think this has been coming to a head for a couple of months now with jerseys and honoring players in general, because now DJ Pickett is getting in the crossfire for simply asking for a number that he wore in high school. And the biggest issue with this is, well, if he asked for the number and you just tell him straight up, well, wait, the jersey's retired, he can say, okay, well, the jersey's retired, I can't wear it. Or you can tell him, yeah, we can give it to you, it's not retired. LSU has to do a better job deciding how they're going to honor players, if they're going to retire numbers, if they're not. Because now you're in this, the whole reason you're in this ambiguous situation is because you've had this ambiguous thing where it's like, well, no one's wearing 5, but we're not retiring it.
Right.
But you can't wear it because we're going to retire it, maybe. So at the end of it, like we just did Burt Jones.
Right.
Burt Jones hasn't played in LSU since 1970.
Great pronunciation.
That was impressive.
Thank you, Horatio.
Best part of the show. So like at a certain point, like
No, they need to
like,
set
let's take Jayden
standards.
Daniels out of it. Number 9, is it retired or is it not?
Right.
Like,
Oh.
let's figure it out. Is someone going to wear it again or is it not? Because Joe Burrow, I think everyone agrees that number
Right.
should never be worn again. We get out of this ambiguous thing where it's like no one's wearing it, but it's not retired. I don't care. I understand if you want to wait a couple of years till he's out of the NFL
Right.
to have like a ceremony so he can be able to be there, but there has to be some sort of line drawn where it's like the number's either retired or it's not.
What do you want them to do?
No, that like they need
'Cause,
to
like,
they
you
need
can't
to come
retire the
out
year
with,
after.
They need to come out.
No, I
with-
don't think it needs to be a
Yeah.
public thing. But if you weren't, like, if you promised Jayden Daniels no one was going to wear 5 again, and I don't
Then
know
it
if that's
shouldn't
what
be worn.
happened. It shouldn't be, and I disagree with that. I think Jayden Daniels was amazing, awesome. I think a jersey retirement and no one
right.
ever wearing it again should be reserved for Heisman and national championship winners. But I don't think that has any bearing on this conversation
So you're saying
because
it
if
should be in writing.
if you told Jayden Daniels that no one was ever going to wear it again,
Right.
then no one should ever wear it
Right.
again. At the same time, if you told DJ Pickett he can have 5, he should be able to have 5. That's the problem. You can't
Right.
make mutually exclusive
There
promises.
needs to be.
It needs to be in writing.
I mean, writing what there needs to be standards. There needs
Yeah.
to be.
Yes.
This is if you like. LSU needs to set the standard for what leads to a jersey, because you have number retirements and jersey retirements, right?
Right.
Two different things. Because you've seen there are numbers up on the facade in Tiger Stadium that still get worn besides one. There is one number now that's not on the facade that has not been given out in 7 years. Mm-hmm. And so that would lead you to believe that one will end up on the facade and never be worn again.
Right.
Would lead you to believe. I don't know. Maybe they'll give out 9 again. Who knows? But the thing is, there aren't standards set for what leads for a number to be retired and never worn again.
No, it's
Because it could either be if you win a Heisman, your number doesn't ever get worn again. And if that's the case, then Jayden's number should be worn. I also agree if promises are made, the promises should be kept. The problem is they made contradicting promises. There was one staff at LSU that made 2 promises that literally contradicted each other. And so, but you could also set the standard of if you win a Heisman and a national championship, then you get your jersey retired. And if that's the case, whatever. Promises should be kept.
what's funny is if you try to do it the LSU way, like for Jayden Daniels, where it's like you retire, like you give him a retirement ceremony of just the jersey, but the number's still worn, like he would not be happy.
No. But that's why, like, ultimately, if we are just getting upset about numbers,
he doesn't want anybody ever again to wear number 5 at LSU.
right? No.
What about Arizona State?
Apparent. Do what?
What about Arizona State?
He doesn't care about that. He didn't.
Why?
Because he didn't want a Heisman there.
Okay. Just interested.
I mean, I
Or you started your legacy.
don't think he really cares about the Arizona State legacy. Because Arizona State didn't really do anything for him. LSU's the one that did something for him, and everything he did, like, You won your
I'm trying
Heisman
to paint
at
the
LSU.
picture. I'm trying to paint that picture for him.
But ultimately, to me, if they're just going to give numbers out, then give numbers out. Like their numbers. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I appreciate what jersey retirements mean. I do. Like I appreciate what it means to be like that player was this, so that they'll never give those numbers out. But like at the same time, they are numbers.
Right.
At the end of the day, they're numbers. Tim Tebow, some people believe, is the greatest quarterback in college football history. Put together the greatest career in college football history. I would say probably a lot of people believe that. Mm-hmm. Tebow was great. Florida has put 15 on some quarterbacks that have not been very good.
Punters.
It's not just him. Florida State still gives out 5. Jameis
Right.
Winston's number. Derrick Henry's number still gets worn at Alabama. Devontae Smith's number still gets worn at Alabama.
Plenty of numbers still get worn.
Yeah.
And so if that's how LSU's going to go about it, where the players' numbers get worn, so be it. The problem is there's just been a lot of kind of unspoken, unwritten decisions.
I mean, and then Florida had the same thing where they give out 15 as a bit of an homage
Right.
to Tebow, and then somebody recently was given 15 and turned it down.
Which I appreciate. Like if someone gets given 7, you don't feel like you're 7 material at LSU, feel free to turn it down.
Yeah.
I mean, and I just like it's.
And
I just woke up this morning and I couldn't believe.
Billy Napier, whatever he was at Florida, didn't let anybody wear 1. Do you know why?
Why?
Team's number 1.
It's just, ultimately, like I said, there are so many layers to this whole thing.
When my son coaches for LSU baseball, he wants 2.
I just didn't like the way it played out. I mean, because we've seen this happen in other sports. LSU baseball. When Daniel Dickinson visited LSU baseball, Lloyd, what number did he ask for?
3.
And it was said,
You're not wearing that.
not going to get to wear the 3. And look.
A lot of great players before.
What a
Dylan
surprise that
Cruz.
Jay Johnson has his program run.
But at the same time, there are.
Oh, and he's the one that came out and said it. That's
Right.
also what needed to happen. Is Brian Kelly never addressed the situation, because one of which never had the
But it's-
opportunity to, because he's bad at his job and got fired. And that's what it's the bridging of the gap between the two programs where something fell in between the cracks. That how could you know?
But it's.
And so
They also never came out and said anything about Joe's. Like, that's the thing where LSU can be at fault because they've never set this LSU football. Has
Right.
never set the standard of what's going on.
they haven't
It's
done it,
unwritten and unspoken.
and they haven't done it in baseball either.
Right.
And it's just like they're doing the same thing. This is LSU's deal of how they handle it. The tides of change move slowly over there, and so it's not surprising. But like, how quickly did they retire Billy Cannon's 20? Was it the next year?
I have no idea.
Wasn't there. But
Me
I would
neither.
imagine that if they did, then there's at least a. I guess he was played at LSU for 4 years and like from Louisiana.
Yeah,
won a Heisman, won a national. It was probably
Right.
like a coronation of like nobody's ever wearing 20 again and carrying him off the field, and it's like, yeah, that number's done. Joe Burrow literally changed his name to make it more
There's a
Louisiana.
there's a cultural tool that is played into this. Like there's like
Impact.
There's a feel button to it, you know,
Feel.
like
Feel.
not okay, like there's certain situations
No, you
like
can
maybe
move
you have
the
a
goalpost
vet
as
like
much as you want.
Alec Box, isn't he like a veteran?
Air
like that
Force.
could play into it. Like, you know, you have an LSU player that goes and dies in war, like that, retire his number. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things, not just win a national championship, win a Heisman. There's other factors that play into this. That's why I think setting like a bar at like a Heisman gets you it, or a national championship and a Heisman gets you this. Like I think that could play into it. Like I think Joe's a perfect example of like he did these 2 things, he gets it. But there's also a feel to
There's
it, right?
also an impact.
Right. There's a cultural impact, especially in Louisiana, especially for LSU, because I think this is one of the most culture-rich universities in the country. Like I think there's a real deep-rooted cult. Like I mean, it's the state of
Well,
Louisiana.
that's the argument for Kevin Falk. He didn't win a national championship or
Right,
a Heisman,
right.
and there are a large contingent of fans that believe no one should ever wear 3 again.
Right.
And look, I didn't watch Kevin Falk, so I have I wasn't
that-
there to experience that impact.
that's
so I can't
perfectly
really
fair
say.
for people to think
Roe,
that.
Roe sits right here, and I think Roe feels
100%.
very strongly about Kevin Falk's 3 because there is no modern LSU football if Kevin Falk does not make the decision he makes
And
to choose LSU.
Yeah, of course. But he doesn't care.
I haven't
Like,
seen
he
him
w-
come out and say anything about it.
Right, and I'm sure he
Yes.
would love the respect of that.
And it will be put up on the facade.
I think
Yeah.
Three
that-
is going up there.
That should have already happened.
Right.
That's
And look-
that's the thing that's taken too long. But I don't think he would even want. I think he likes to see the number on the field. It's like if I'm the reason that somebody wanted to wear 3 and they get to do that.
Yeah.
Like that's how Odell probably feels about Easton Royal. Is like, oh fuck, he watched me play
Right.
in 3, and
That's
that's, why
awesome.
he wants. To, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate compliment. And I don't think Pickett is watching Jayden Daniels and go.
And so, yeah.
yeah,
You choose
put it in
50?
the rafters.
So Billy Cannon's number was retired in 1960.
yeah, the next year.
The next year.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a massive part of this conversation that not many people are talking about is like
The trickle-down effect of making it take a while.
Right,
When was
like,
Shador Sanders
Kevin
number
Falk
retired?
should have been honored already.
Yeah.
No, it's
like
ridiculous.
Leonard Fournette, Tyrann Mathieu, Patrick Pete. There's so many players that should have been. Glenn Dorsey
And that's
should
the
have been
thing.
honored already.
LSU's like, to me, feels like they're backtracking on it right now, trying to catch up with
Yes.
because Charles Alexander's number, retire it. Should have been retired a long time ago, and you're waiting until 2025.
Yes.
Right? Like Burt Jones. It feels like you're backtracking so you can catch
Doing
up.
one a year.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
almost disrespectful, like for the Burt Jones thing. Like, if I'm Burt Jones, I don't want to have to wait, 50, 60 years to when the majority of the fan base at LSU now doesn't even remember me. Like,
Right.
I want to
sad.
be honored right after when, like, the people love me as much as they possibly can because they just saw me. You know what I mean? Like, Jayden should have already been honored. Joe should have already been honored. And I think that's part of the crux of this.
No, I agree. I feel like there's so many things. Like there are so many layers to it. That's why my biggest issue in what's transpired is the way it's being handled. Because like I said, there are different parties at fault. LSU does not have LSU's not sitting here with they haven't played a part in this. They're giving the number out. They when Brian Kelly was the head coach, 2 promises were made that were essentially
Lies.
yeah.
He's a liar.
Because they were directly contradictory to each other. It's like promising, you promise a girl you're going to marry her, but then you promise your mom you're never going to get married ever. So, I mean, well, you're in a real pickle there because you've now made 2 promises you can't keep because they're contradictory. You promised a player you weren't going to give his number out, then you promised a player a number that you said you weren't going to give out. So LSU, like I'm saying, LSU is not sitting here with no blame on them. But my issue today was the way that this was handled because
Yeah.
it didn't need to play out publicly on the news wire with a 10:30 p.m. article that LSU fans are going to either go to sleep thinking about or wake up to. Because I just don't think what's transpiring right now is beneficial to anybody in the situation. If LSU was to take Jayden's face off of the Heisman Trophy plaque outside Death Valley, who does that benefit? That doesn't help anybody. It's a lose-lose. It's just ultimately I was upset when I woke up this morning and saw that this was how it was playing out. Because it shouldn't have to be this way.
I mean, LSU has too many good players, and obviously the way it's been handled isn't necessarily retired. Doesn't mean it's not going to be worn again either.
Right.
Like Charles Alexander, 4, retired.
Jackson
Brissett-
Harris is in it this year.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's whatever.
They retired it last year, and there's a
Right.
player on the field wearing it.
And nobody said it. Nobody's been like up in arms about it. This is just. That's why it feels so small and petty because it's like, brother, you went, and this is how you can tell he didn't really understand, I guess, where he was going, or it wasn't impressed upon him what LSU actually is. You did. You're one of the very best players to ever play here. There will be another. Like, so, I don't understand what you don't understand about this, but like, you didn't do, I don't think, what you thought you did, all because of a number. Like, why did you think it wasn't going to be worn again? Because the coach made a promise to you that it wouldn't be worn until maybe you said it could be, and then you put all of your faith in Brian Kelly, who's no longer here, to continue. Like, how would that? Do you think he left a list of things? It's like, oh, and don't forget, Lane, I promised DJ Pickett 5, but I told Jayden Daniels I wouldn't give it out. Good luck. Like, he didn't know. And that's because, like, that's Jayden. That's on you for putting your faith in Brian Kelly at any point, because then it goes back to a long time that he's been here. How many players have come back that are a part of the Brian Kelly era?
Not too many. But at the same time, like,
now you're the best one.
I also think LSU could have, before this if this promise was made and this was the situation.
LSU, like, the entity doesn't know about this. Like, this is a strictly football thing.
Right, that's what I mean. I'm not talking about
yeah.
Louisiana State University. I mean, just like LSU football. Like, this is because it also, you could also say they should have reached out to Jayden before the number was given out.
Not my responsibility.
That's what I'm saying. There's fingers to be pointed everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going to point fingers at Jayden and be like, you're wrong for trusting somebody. Yeah. A promise was made. Like,
no, you're trusting.
Now you're attacking the man that got cheated on by his wife. It's not his fault he got cheated on. She cheated on him.
Massive whore. Why would you marry that?
But
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's
all
just
she does. Yeah, you married.
You should have known this was coming.
You fucking married a stripper. Like,
like,
she's back up there again. It's like, yeah, it's how I make money.
I'm not gonna get mad at Jayden for a promise being made to him.
Because you should have known, if after the season that you just had and you still can't win anything, like, he's probably not going to be around for very long. But he doesn't have any water. Like, there's no water in his bucket. Brian Kelly can't keep that promise for him.
But he can.
As long as he's there, he's not here anymore.
Well, I know that you know that now, but you're blaming Jayden for hindsight. Like, Jayden should have been able to see in the future.
I'm blaming him for getting mad now.
Well, because now the number's being given out.
Yeah, because it's not the guy that he trusted to keep it is no longer around, and Lane Kiffin doesn't. I didn't make any allegiance.
Should have put it in writing.
Yeah, like,
he should have. Like,
but that's where it goes back to the top of, like, what's the standard?
That's what I'm saying. There's so many layers to it.
So, and if I'm Lane Kiffin, once again, and DJ Pickett is trying to leave the team that I'm trying to coach, you get whatever you want. I don't care.
Yeah. That's the thing you asked earlier. Like, do you try and appease Jayden Daniels? If you're Lane Kiffin, do you try and appease Jayden Daniels, or do you appease your number one cornerback who may or may not have a massive impact on how well there's no decision for Lane Kiffin. Right. Like, you have to give it to DJ Pickett.
DJ Pickett totally tips the scales of what you do this season.
100%. No, so that's why you can't blame Lane Kiffin here.
No.
The problem is it should have, when he came in, it's got to be a black or white thing of either the number's retired or it's not retired. Like, can you give it out? Can I give this number out or can I not? That's it. That's the whole thing.
Maybe just tell Jayden after DJ's done wearing it, we'll retire it.
No.
Well, that was my situation coming off of the way Lane answered about it. When Lane was like, the promise was made, we're honoring that promise. Like, I thought it left the door open to they needed to honor that promise, but Lane's acknowledging the weight of that number and won't give it back out after. I mean, there's plenty of things to play out. Ultimately, just get to football and win games. Like, all of this becomes a lot quieter if you just win games.
And like I said,
because nobody on this staff right now at LSU, no LSU football coaches on staff right now were part of a Jayden Daniels LSU team. The offensive coordinator, any of the offensive coaches, nope. Defensive coaches, no. They're all brand new.
I just think it's funny that this comes out of, I mean, this has been known for a weekish, so I guess they've been working nonstop on this deal. And that's why I don't think that it's Jayden Daniels' hands in this pot as much. I know he is around.
Oh, he's a part of it. He's a part of the Jayden Daniels camp, but it's not him. He's playing football.
That's what I'm saying. He's getting ready for a season after coming off of an injury and another injury, and they're not good right now. Like, the Commanders lost Deebo Samuels. Terry McLaurin. Is pretty much what they have in Jayden Daniels. Like, I don't think he's too concerned about.
But they signed Stephon Diggs.
That's dangerous too. That's why they're playing that music they're playing. Nice. But it's just reeks of, and I just don't know why. I guess did she go down some rabbit hole of, like, allegedly that, like, this is unfair to my boy because of Joe Burrow, and it's like, so now I get to make the stipulations of why it should be retired, and then like make up some of these conversations I had. I don't know. I just think it's all very silly at this point in the year.
This shouldn't, like, that's my biggest issue in the whole thing is the way it played out today, last night to today. You can be upset whoever you want to be upset about. Ultimately, it shouldn't have played out the way it played out today.
I mean, this would have been
shouldn't have been an ESPN article written at 10:30, like put out at 10:30 p.m. for all this to happen.
And shout out, it's, I guess not breaking, but breaking. Kayshawn Booty admits to say he's come a long way since gambling. I lost probably 80 to 90 grand betting on myself.
Congratulations. 2 claps for Kayshawn. Shaking back. 2 claps. Ready. And so
that's 80 to 90,000 claps.
Yeah.
But
unreturned calls and text messages.
It's just
I'd rather go to prison. I did it.
Yeah.
I killed the prisoners.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, like, that was my, like, to your point, like, that was my biggest issue. It didn't need to play out like this.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, it didn't need to be this, because I just don't, there's no winners with this. Like, that's the part that upsets me is nobody benefits from this. LSU doesn't benefit from this. I don't think Jayden benefits from this. Because now it just creates all these conversations for people with microphones and national media and Twitter people and all.
It's everywhere.
For just to create fodder and to attack one side or the other. There's no winner in this.
What are we going to see at practice today?
I don't know. I probably should leave in a second, huh?
You probably should.
It's a night practice?
It's right now, actually.
You excited? What are you going to go watch? What are you looking for?
I'm about to go film DJ Pickett in 5.
Yeah, the whole time.
Hell yeah, DJ. Cornerback 1 energy. Don't give up that number.
That's
I
right.
love that. I love that.
Put it in my pocket.
Nah,
I'm
that's
good.
my number. Hell yeah.
And so it's unfortunate to play out like this. Christian is headed out to fall camp now, though. They'll have a practice at 10:05. Lane will meet with the media after.
I thought you just did a...
And so we'll make sure we'll get that content out to you from practice. We'll, of course, get some of the Lane Kiffin's press conference clipped up for you. That'll be for tomorrow morning. We'll also have Rohan Davey in tomorrow morning, another former LSU quarterback, to be part of this conversation. Talked to him about it this morning. He went and read through it. He couldn't make it in today, so he will be in tomorrow to discuss his viewpoint on this. And I think it'll be nice to hear from Ro on this situation.
He was... What did you ask him, or what was he asked? Like, who was his favorite number 6 after him? He's like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, he's like...
But I love Daugherty. That's my boy.
That's my boy.
Yeah. He loved Terrace Marshall. He loved
That's
TJ
awesome.
Daugherty. He didn't know. I asked him who 24 was when he played, and he was like,
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
He said one, and it popped up on Twitter yesterday
Really?
for me. It was
How about
crazy.
that?
Yeah, it was like Harvey Turner or something. I forgot the name, but it popped up on Twitter. I was like, oh, it's Rose Boy. That's crazy. What a pull.
And so
He knows a lot about this LSU thing.
it's I was upset this morning when I woke up and I saw that this was how this was going to play out, because you just know the snowball this creates, the butterfly effect of something like this. I could already tell you the conversations that are going to transpire on social media, and the points that different talking heads were going to have. Like, that's the part where I was just like no, I want to talk about 2023 Florida.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Missouri game. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about 2022 Ole Miss. When they went on, they had 45-3 run in that football game.
Well, also, sure, I would love to be able to talk about all of this, right? Like, there are some seminal moments from Jayden Daniels' camp. Or from Jayden Daniels, not his camp, I guess his camp too, but from Jayden Daniels in that season.
Right.
And now with this cease-and-desist / lawsuit, like, that's what he's asking you for. Like, I want money for all of that. And it's like, buddy, you're trying to hit a lick on LSU at the wrong time.
Well, and I just
don't have any money.
But I also don't think I don't think there are any grounds. Like, I've read what that lawyer said. Like, there's the number 5 is not Jayden Daniels' name, image, or likeness. And if they're upset that things have been shown since the 180 days expired, the 180 days expired in 2024.
You should have been mad about this a long time ago.
And so there's also that proves that it's reactionary.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And so like there is no.
No, they want to, like, they're asking LSU to renegotiate a new name, image, and likeness. Like, we're not giving name, image, and likeness to fucking professionals right now. We got our own. We got to give it to junior high kids.
Yeah.
Like, the program that's what they don't get. The program keeps moving.
No, LSU is
Like,
still LSU.
Yes.
They're far and away. Many people have come to LSU and never come back and had sterling careers here at LSU, and that's a choice. Or you can come be a brand ambassador, be treated just as much as NIL would do you any good if you ever wanted to be around here, but you don't. And so then you don't have to be a part of what you consider your legacy to be, or be a part of LSU, or you could be like Roe and be very much. If
He's
you'll,
got no reason to be in Baton Rouge other than he played
Played
football
football
good
at
at
LSU.
LSU. He was a good quarterback at LSU, and it's
and,
panned out
and
well
you know
for him.
why? He wants to stay. People fucking love him.
Of course.
Because he played well at LSU and loves LSU. Mm-hmm. That's all it takes. It's not like, hey, why are you showing my highlights?
Right.
I want money for that. It's like, okay, well then go. Does ESPN have a name, image, and likeness contract with you?
Well, that's my thing. Where it's just like, what does removing those highlights do?
It hurts
What does taking your name off the plaque do? What does giving you taking the Heisman Trophy out of the trophy room do?
Or just etch the name off of it.
Like what is that genuine? Like how does that help? What does DJ Pickett taking 5 off do?
He's living in his head.
Like that's my thing. It's just this whole situation. It just doesn't help. It doesn't benefit anybody.
Look, Jonas Sanker is now wearing number 7 for the Saints. You don't think Taysom Hill's like, damn, that was my number.
I mean,
And that's the first person I thought of.
right?
Actually,
No, of course. When you say 7, the first person I thought of 7 Saints. I thought of
I was like, actually, can Tyron come back for 1 year? Because that would look sick.
right. And so like it's just. I don't know. I didn't like the way it played out this morning because it just doesn't have to go this way. This doesn't benefit anybody. Genuinely, like this playing out like this does not benefit anyone in the situation. This is not a win for Jayden's camp. It's not a win for LSU. It doesn't benefit anyone.
Robert Griffin III has a take.
What did he say?
Every Heisman Trophy winner should have their number retired.
Okay,
That's
sure, fine.
I
Whatever. Okay.
I think that's a fair line to draw as well. Like I disagree with that. I don't think that's
if you want to draw the line,
unfair.
draw it. Like,
right. I don't think that has anything to do with the situation. Like I don't think that's a good argument for this current situation that
Right,
we're
no,
in.
I'd say he just got his take off.
No, that's fine. Like I mean,
Well, I'm
as
sure
a Heisman
winner-
Trophy
yeah,
winner,
I'm sure a Heisman winner would say that also.
Right.
but it's fine. Like if they want to make that a rule, where every
they?
university universal.
No,
Like,
I don't want that either.
I don't want it, but I'm saying you can set a line. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But like, that's not how it works. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's, and so I just
7
ultimately
looks too good on the uniform.
the problem is that, like, my issue is that it played out like this.
But yeah, it's not. It's only a couple things.
And it's like I guess it's worse because I like being on social media a lot. It sucks because now you've got people, shitting on Jayden Daniels, and I don't want that on Twitter. And you've got people shitting on LSU on Twitter, and I don't want that either. And
If this is if this is LSU's biggest controversy this year, I think we'll be fine.
No, I mean it's not the end of the world, but it does suck. Like you'd never want your program, and I'll say at minimum, I would say a top 5 player in the history of the program. You don't want those two things to be at odds and on opposite sides of an argument. DJ is going to look great in 5.
It looks great in 3, though.
He does. But even you said it before the show, it's like, and that's the thing that struck a chord with me, where it's like, okay, he's going to say, I'm not going to wear 5, so what, he's going to go back to wearing 3, which was worn by Odell and Kevin Falk. Like, it's just...
Well, Chad Jones also did.
That story is phenomenal.
That's very Chad. Like, you better watch out who you're talking to.
Right.
Chad Jones is like, I'm not going out there.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, we really need you. It's like, I really need my number back.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're doing this?
Shout out Les Miles.
No,
Give him the
babe,
fucking
give
number,
him
man.
the
Give him
number
fucking...
back.
What are we doing, guys?
Yeah. All right, there we go. Let's play some football.
Yeah.
And it all goes away.
Yeah, great story.
And Chad Jones does have the pull currently on the football team to be like, don't give me 45. I'm sorry I gave all my jerseys away.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm wearing my number. And that's how important it is to some people.
Yeah, I mean, I just this. It's just like I keep reading more on. So this just doesn't benefit anybody.
No.
Like
No,
they're
we
gonna
can
like
stop
LSU's
talking about
gonna
it.
stop using his NIL. Okay,
Yeah.
it's just that what is that? It just doesn't do anything.
I don't even think, like, in Jayden and his camp doing this, I don't even necessarily think they think, like, do you think they think that it's going to benefit them?
I don't.
Because to
know.
me,
That's
I
what
just
don't
think,
understand. I don't understand how it can.
to me, it feels like they're just trying to send a message
To whom?
to LSU.
Who cares?
I agree. That's fine. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I agree with what Noah's saying. None of this benefits you at all. It, like, makes you look petty and childish.
It'll be done after today.
That's what I'm saying. It won't be gone after
I don't
today.
think-
It'll
I
be
don't
gone
think it'll
once
be gone
games
after
begin. If you win, like, because if you lose, this will be painted like it's going to be painted a picture on Lane Kiffin.
Right.
It's going to be he's
No
got
way.
do what?
No way.
Yes, 100%. You don't think they're going to paint a picture? Andy Staples already did.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't resonate with that.
With
that's-
with
you
us,
you read
with
that-
the nation, it does.
No.
Yes,
Sure.
he's the villain.
Sure, he already knows that. You call a spade a spade.
But that's
He's
what I'm
like,
saying. I'm not saying it's going to affect him, but I'm saying that's going to become a national narrative. If they lose games and they don't play well, this gets grouped into the Lane Kiffin villain narrative. Well, he's breaking tradition at LSU and giving out numbers shouldn't be given out. You don't think that happens?
No. I
There's.
think Jayden Daniels is the biggest loser in this.
I'm not saying. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if LSU doesn't win football games and Lane Kiffin underperforms, this will be grouped in with all of the other negativity around Lane Kiffin to prove why he's a bad guy. Because Andy Staples literally already wrote an article with On3 saying that. Like, I'll read it. Via On3, written by Andy Staples. Even before cornerback DJ Pickett emerged for LSU's first practice earlier this month, wearing number 5, there was action behind the scenes. Former Tigers quarterback Jayden Daniels had heard his old number might be issued to a current player, and he'd expressed his opposition. At LSU, it was understood that current players don't get to wear numbers worn by LSU Heisman Trophy winners.
That's not true.
What would first-year head coach Lane Kiffin do? Each school has its own quirks, but LSU is the kind of place where violating unwritten rules can lead to deep grudges. Its traditions matter, and breaking them can cost political capital in a place where the governor helped decide to fire the last coach and decided himself to fire the last athletic director. Kiffin had to decide if he was willing to cross the line right off the bat to appease a current player or honor the tradition and deal with fallout on his current roster. He chose to piss off the former player. Now Daniels' attorney has sent a cease-and-desist letter to LSU Athletic Director ROUGE Osbury demanding that the school no longer issues Daniels' name, image, or likeness for promotion, recruiting, or anything else. Accordingly, LSU must immediately cease and desist from any further issue, use, display, publication, distribution, promotion, commercialization, or other exploitation of Mr. Daniels' NIL in any manner or medium, Attorney Adam Kenner wrote in his letter, which was obtained by ESPN's Mark Schlabach. There still may be some diplomatic solution, particularly if a certain Cincinnati Bengals QB decides to weigh in. But if there isn't, and LSU and Daniels remain at odds, the winner of this dispute likely will be decided by Kiffin's win-loss record. Kiffin was hired to bring championships to LSU. If he does that, or at least shows he's marching toward a national title, then this will be a tempest in a teapot. Daniels could stay mad, and no one in Baton Rouge would care, because a QB who won the Heisman in a year, 2023, that LSU didn't even win the SEC West division, RIP, doesn't have the influence of someone currently guiding LSU towards the promised land. If Kiffin doesn't put the Tigers in the college football playoff soon enough, this is the sort of thing that becomes evidence he didn't understand the place and didn't fit. Fit, of course, is the dumbest term in college football. No one fit better culturally at LSU than Ed Orgeron, and Coach O got fired less than 2 years after winning a national title because he wasn't winning enough to suggest he might win another one. Kiffin rehired Orgeron at LSU. The unwritten policy Kiffin violated is that the Tigers don't issue the jersey numbers worn by Heisman Trophy winners to current players. Billy Cannon's number is officially retired, and because it was retired before 2007, no, number 20 is the only number that LSU Athletic Department policy forbids issuing to a current player. Daniels' number 5 and the number 9 worn by 2019 Heisman Trophy winner Joe Burrow aren't officially off limits, but they had been taken out of the rotation. When asked last week about Pickett, a star sophomore cornerback from Zephyr Hills, Florida, wearing number 5, Kiffin seemed to shift the blame to former Tigers coach Brian Kelly, who was fired last season because he wasn't getting LSU closer to a national title. That was a situation that was promised him in recruiting here, for him to sign here, Kiffin told reporters last week. I've done a lot of research on that with the family and the representatives and the people, so I didn't have a decision to make. It was promised to the kid. It wasn't done. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to judge something done when I wasn't here. But when a kid is promised something to come to a school, he should wear it. So at that point, I don't think that's really my decision. We should honor what he was told. ESPN contacted Kelly, who was working this season with analysts for CBS. Kelly said he had no intention of giving out the Heisman winner's number unless another Heisman winner also agreed. Kelly said that LSU wasn't going to give out, if LSU wasn't going to give out Burrow's number 9, it shouldn't give out Daniels' number 5. Burrow could easily defuse this situation by calling Kiffin and asking him to choose a player to reward with number 9 this season. But that's not Burrow's responsibility. He didn't have anything to do with the decision to issue Daniels' number. Kiffin also could give Pickett number 7, which has been awarded to a special player since Patrick Peterson finished his LSU career. That number is set to be retired to honor former quarterback Burt Jones, but it will remain in circulation. Tyrann Mathieu, Leonard Fournette, and Grant Delpit have been so honored. Jamar Chase was also supposed to wear number 7 in 2020, but he opted out of the COVID season. Pickett, a freshman All-American selection last season, certainly fits the profile. Or Kiffin can simply stick with his choice. If he wins a bunch of games with Pickett wearing number 5, then he has nothing to worry about. If he doesn't, the incident will get recounted several years from now in the opening paragraphs of the stories cataloging why the marriage between Kiffin and LSU failed. Kiffin is betting on the former. Given how much it costs to fire Kelly and hire Kiffin, so is LSU.
That is from Andy Staples, known
1-3
Florida graduate.
Right. My thing is, if Lane Kiffin had done the opposite and said, DJ Pickett, you can't wear number 5, and DJ Pickett had entered the transfer portal, you could very easily write that exact same article just the opposite way and say, well, Lane Kiffin lost one of the best players on his roster and potentially jeopardized his first season at LSU over a number that wasn't given out, that was an unwritten rule. Like, it's a lose-lose situation.
That sounds much dumber than the other one.
Right, I think they're both dumb.
Yeah.
And I do think Lane made the right decision, but it's a lose-lose situation for Lane. Like, I don't understand how Lane is being dragged under the bus for this.
He shouldn't be.
When
it's
it
Andy
was
Staples who's upset he didn't go to Florida.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But
those people don't matter to me.
This is the narrative that will be, like, that's why ultimately to me,
I'm surprised
where
you could finish reading that.
Why?
And it's such slop.
Well, it's just that, but it's perspective of how a lot of the nation looks at LSU and Lane Kiffin. It's not just Florida fans or Ole Miss fans. It's everybody.
No, well, they know that they can do that. Like,
that's what I'm saying, and so that's
they're
why
the bitter ones. So they're like, we should want everybody to feel this way.
If he doesn't win, because that's where Andy's
they
right.
would hire him if he doesn't win. At Florida, Florida will hire him if he doesn't win.
What I'm saying is, Andy's right. If Lane doesn't win at LSU, this will get grouped into.
Yeah, I agree with that.
This is why Lane Kiffin is a failure as a head coach.
Yeah, and I think that's wrong. But I do think
I
will
disagree with that.
That will happen. That will happen.
Like, ultimately, this whole situation, once again, just like everything else, that it all comes down to if you win or lose.
There are tons of things that I think can get grouped into that category of if there's an unsuccessful season,
you have to win.
You'll look at past things like the article that came out of him using the LSU private plane to go on vacation. Everyone unanimously agrees that does not matter. If LSU has an unsuccessful season, that will be brought back up by LSU fans, mind you, and saying, well, he was going on vacation, couldn't build a roster that was successful in 2026. And I think this absolutely falls into that category of if they have an unsuccessful season, that will get grouped in, and people will blame this for that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I couldn't, like, when I was reading that this morning and then just read it again, like, I just couldn't believe that was the view. And also the Joe Burrow standpoint of it could be solved by Joe. Joe calls Lane. Joe's not worried about that. Joe's trying to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, trying to have a successful season finally.
And honest to God,
I don't think he cares.
He doesn't care. Like, that's one thing that other people need to realize about Joe Burrow. Such as he's held in high esteem, he comes back every now and then, but he's not. He has his other shit that he does.
When he was showing off his bracelets, in that one video didn't have the LSU one. Made me sad. But at the same time, that showed, like, He appreciates LSU. He appreciates Coach O.
No doubt.
But it's,
And I think he'll be around more now.
of course, now that O's back. I did see Pete Nakos quote tweeted. So I read the report earlier about DJ Pickett still wearing 5. He then quote tweeted it and said, LSU has not yet awarded the number 7 and number 18 jerseys.
Okay.
I'll just ask the question for the room. Do you think potentially DJ could get put in 7?
No.
No.
You don't think so?
You think he's going to wear 5 for the first 7 practices of fall camp, and then they're going to change his number again?
I mean, that's what happens in every fall camp, though. Like, usually 7 gets awarded at the end of fall camp.
No, I know, I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, why would he switch from 3 to 5 and then go to 7?
Because he wasn't awarded 7 yet.
They would have just kept him in 3. Like,
Maybe.
what?
Maybe.
I was promised this number to be able to wear in fall camp. I want to wear number 5 just in fall camp. Like,
I'm going to take the other side, and I'm gonna say, I think they give him 7.
It would be the fucking disaster. That'd be so stupid.
yeah.
I
that
just
would make it so much worse.
like I'm not saying that's truly what because he shouldn't. Trey Des should be in 7. It should be Whit Weeks 18, Trey Des in 7 without a doubt. But I don't think it's impossible that they Band-Aid this thing with giving him 7.
No.
Because then 5 doesn't get worn.
But now you're putting 5 above 7.
I mean, not technically.
Yeah, because if you wanted 7, you wouldn't give it to him. But if he wants 5, you can have 5.
Everyone wants 7. You don't get to
Yeah,
pick
but
7.
that's what I'm saying. You don't get to pick that. This is him de facto being like, this will make it better. And it's like, it's not the number I want. And so he'd probably say no.
I mean, but maybe.
That's what I would do. It's
And
like,
I would respect that.
It's not, you don't Kobe Bryant this thing and just buy me a bigger ring. Like,
But I'm just,
it's not the one I want. And then if you think you're going to glaze that over with, like, let's piss off a legion of 7s.
you think they would be pissed if DJ Pickett was in
If
7?
if it was given to him like that, yes, I would be. That's disrespectful.
Yeah, because at that point, you clearly
You're
haven't
using it
given
as a
him 7
Band-Aid.
because you think should be number 7. You've given him 7 to Band-Aid a different
Right,
situation.
you would have given him 7. You'd been like, just wait on 5. Where you know.
Yeah, and I'm not saying DJ Pickett doesn't deserve 7.
No,
I'm
but
just
not
saying
this
if you were
way.
going to give it to him, this isn't the way you go about it.
No,
Right.
It shirks the tradition.
Right.
Because I was just, I'm just saying.
That would just be compounding errors at that point.
Look, nothing. I'll put nothing past.
That's what I'm
LSU
saying.
at this point.
I don't think it's impossible
No,
that happens.
I don't think it's impossible.
That's
It would
what I'm
just
saying,
be
like,
insane. But also, they promised Jayden 5 would never get worn again, and then they promised DJ Pickett he
There's
could
no-
have 5.
There's
So
no they in this.
LSU or Brian Kelly,
That's what I'm
whoever
saying,
it
he's
was.
not here.
No, I understand, but like Brian Kelly was the head coach of LSU. He
Right.
stands for and represents LSU.
Not
So there's
anymore.
no. I understand. but
Members of
at
his
that,
staff are
that's
still
at
here.
that time.
That's fine.
It was. So you can't like I don't. When people try to separate Brian Kelly and LSU, they're not an entity together anymore. But when
they
this
were.
happened, they were.
Right.
And so what Brian Kelly says
He had an
represents
LSU polo on.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You've distanced you fired him and you distanced yourself. So now anything he says, whatever. But back then, Brian Kelly and LSU were one and the same, and that sickens me to say.
But for 4 years, that
But
was the
for
case.
4 years, yeah, that was the case exactly.
Yeah, but I think
Everything Brian Kelly said was LSU saying it.
not necessarily.
Always. Yeah. Well, if he's your head coach, that's the case.
No.
That's how it works. If you anything any one of us 3 say is a representation of Tingle and Co.
Right.
Because
Disagree.
that's how it works. Anything Brian Kelly says as he's the head coach of LSU is a representation of LSU because he is the LSU head coach. Now, what that means is you should have the wherewithal and the awareness to say, I'm a representation of something greater than me, and conduct yourself correctly. But anything Brian Kelly says as he's the head coach is a representation of LSU.
I think in the LSU setting,
Any setting. He's the LSU head coach.
I don't think it's taken that seriously. It depends on what the context of it is. Like, I'm sure, like, yeah, that's LSU.
I mean,
head
but
coach.
okay, well, nobody's going to bring that up if he's telling a stranger on the road hey, the weather's 56 degrees, they're going to be like, the LSU, it's a bad look on LSU. He lied to me about the weather because it's actually 58.
Yeah,
it's only going to come into context with big situations.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why it's true that anything he says is a representation of LSU.
That's what I'm saying. Well,
The promise is made by LSU because he's the LSU head coach.
It's only in an LSU context. Like, there's things that you can do and things that benefit you for being the LSU head coach and things that don't. But not every situation was standing as LSU head coach said. And it's like it can still be like.
You're not a separate entity. You are the LSU head coach.
I think people can live their lives outside of being the LSU head coach. Now, if you get
no, that's not true, because then you wouldn't get fired for off the field things.
No, that's what I'm saying. It depends on how the context of what it is. But people do things that aren't related to their job all the time.
But
now,
when
if
you're
it's bad and it's a fireable offense, then it's like you're going to lose your job for that because it's a misrepresentation of the brand. Absolutely.
Right.
But if it's just nothing, it's like, oh.
Well, yeah, because if it's a small deal, it doesn't matter. It's only big deals that get talked about.
And usually those things that are big deals have something to do with the job that you are paid to do.
Not always. It could be something. He could be talking about something completely different
Like,
that has nothing to do with football. And it puts LSU in a negative light because he's the LSU head coach saying it. Mm-hmm. Even if it has nothing to do with football.
No, I think that you separate the art from the artist.
I think that's impossible. It's literally not. He's the LSU head coach. So that's why when he makes a promise, that's LSU football making a promise.
Right.
Because he's the LSU football head coach.
And that's, I guess, how Lane Kiffin is interpreting it by fixing it.
Right. Because that's how it works.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is a Brian Kelly issue, an LSU football issue.
But Brian Kelly was LSU football. So it's an LSU football issue because it has to deal with LSU because Brian Kelly was LSU football.
Yeah.
And that's why he got fired.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. When it becomes an LSU, this is an LSU-centric issue.
Right.
So it's LSU football. This is when he was doing the job of LSU football coach.
Right.
That's why it involves LSU.
Right.
If he goes and plays golf and wants to card 58, even though he shot 95, nobody's going to be like, that's a fireable offense.
Well,
because he's LSU football head coach. He's not a man of integrity. Like, that doesn't fucking matter.
But it got said outside of when he was getting fired from LSU. It was like, well, the LSU football head coach is playing 400 rounds of golf a year.
Because you're not doing your job.
I know, but it's just what I'm saying is when you are the LSU head football coach, you are always a representation of LSU football.
Sure.
Just want to see what the chat's saying.
I just don't think it always carries. I think it's usually a benefit more than it's bad for you.
Well, it just depends on how you do it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it falls on the person, but that doesn't.
If you represent the university at all times, I think that's like walking around in LSU polo 24/7. Be like, hey.
But it doesn't matter if you're the LSU head coach. You don't need to be in the polo. You could be wearing a white T-shirt, but your face is LSU football face because you are the head coach.
And a lot of what we know about, certain coaches and certain times, it doesn't really matter. You think all coaches are good guys?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying winning that's the whole thing. Like, that's why LSU now has to. If LSU doesn't win, they'll paint a picture of Lane Kiffin in a negative light.
Lane Kiffin, he totally misrepresented LSU in their nonverbal rules to keep a 5-star.
He broke tradition, is what they'll label it as.
Or maybe I saw the next rate 5.
That comes down to if they win.
It's really if DJ Pickett plays well.
You can play well and lose and it not be that.
No, I'm saying if he plays bad, it'll come up. Somebody will say it.
But if he plays well and they don't.
Well, that's not a non-issue again.
And they go 7-5.
Well, it wasn't Bob's fault.
It wasn't, but it's still. Lane Kiffin just doesn't get it because he's giving out numbers that are.
To good players.
That shouldn't be given out. So. It'll be interesting to see how it continues to play out. I just think ultimately, it comes down to wins and losses. You got to win. Everything that transpires around LSU football can be grouped into a negative light on Lane Kiffin if you don't win. So, go out there and win.
Yeah, I think that's just like anybody that takes this job.
Yeah, no, I mean that's anything that trade like it's just now everything like all these things are very public, very out there, and this, like Andy Staples said, can be used as because it's already being used as a dig against Lane Kiffin. So it sucked to wake up and see it this morning because I just don't think it benefits anybody in the situation, and it's highly unfortunate that this has to transpire, but ultimately. We'll see where it goes from here. We'll see how LSU responds, if they respond, and ultimately we'll probably hear it get asked to Lane Kiffin today. He's not going to say much about it. It'll probably get asked to Jayden Daniels after a training camp.
He won't say anything about it.
He probably won't say anything about it, and it'll
away.
ultimately come down to if you win or lose.
Let's do some trivia.
Let's do it. 6'3", 230-pound NFL draft pick and All-American. Who was 6'3", 230?
I would think like a linebacker.
That's what I would think.
Because it's probably too tall for a running back.
Too tall for...
It's too heavy for a wide receiver.
Oh, Barkevious Mingo.
I feel like he was
Taller?
heavier.
You think heavier?
Maybe 230. He was pretty.
He was quick.
He was pretty thin,
maybe
and he definitely was an All-American.
How tall is Jacoby Stevens? Not 6'3".
No, he was like barely 6 foot.
And was he
I
an
think.
All-American?
Not there's anything wrong with barely being 6 foot. Oh, yeah, sure. I don't think he was an All-American.
Was he? I didn't know if his junior year he was.
Patrick Queen?
Could be Pat Queen.
But I don't feel like it's going to be a first-round pick.
No, because it says
doesn't
NFL
specify.
draft pick. I think it would be a lower.
And Barkevious Mingo was like
pick
top
6.
five? Yeah,
Dude, I loved Kiki Mingo. Could it be? What about like Sam Montgomery? What, dude? Kiki.
Be
Mingo,
careful,
dude. Listen, I know. Like when he played, he was one of my favorite players.
It was like ride a roller coaster.
So much drip. The 49. He started the 49. What? He didn't have the. He didn't wear the gloves.
That's right.
Oh, so good, dude.
Don't sleep on him.
What about Sam Montgomery? Because he wasn't a first round.
Now
pick.
we're Sonic.
He was taller and heavier.
You think so?
Oh,
Yeah. He was massive.
Can't handle his tequila though.
We didn't go to practice yesterday, Sabe, but Christian's
was
out there
none.
today. We'll see if he sees anything new. Oh, Kendall Beckwith?
I don't think he was 6'3".
He
I
could
feel
have
like
been.
he was heavier than 230 too.
Let's get one
Consultants
out
are in. We
there.
have to be quiet.
Are we
Devin-
trying to one shot this?
Let's do it. Yeah, just send it. Dang it.
Who'd you put?
Kendall
Kendall.
Beckwith.
Wore a double-digit jersey number.
What about Kevin Minter? Was he shorter than 6'3"?
6'3" is tall.
6'3" is tall. That's an interesting
Arden
build.
Key? Taller than 6'3".
Anthony Johnson.
No, he
Heavier
was
than 230.
Way heavy. He was 330.
Michael Brockers.
NFL draft pick and All-American.
Is it Barkevious?
I just feel like it would specify
I
Well, I think
so
that's
too.
that trivia part. If it's
maybe.
a first round pick.
You can.
Oh,
do-
Andrew
you can
Messina
do
says
maybe.
Deion Jones.
Oh, he
It could
just
be.
would do the
Was
same
he an
as-
All-American though?
I don't know. He played.
He only
some-
started
played
one
year.
season in 15.
He was good though. We can try Mingo. Off the
Oh,
field, there are a
never-
few times. I also had an older brother who played the same position as me at LSU. Okay. So we have a little legacy here.
A brother. Could it be like a tight end?
Could it be a running back? 230 feels heavy though.
And 6'3" feels tall as well.
Oh,
Oh, Lloyd's got it. He's got it in the crosshairs. Come on, LC.
fuck.
Give us an error. Give us something.
His brother played fullback. Is it Dixon?
McMakin?
Richard Dixon. Dixon making those calls every Saturday night.
They said Horatio saying Sam was 6'3". I mean, Sam
I don't think
Montgomery
he's
didn't-
not 6'3". I don't think he's 230.
I think 230
I think
is
he's heavier
very
than 230.
slender.
That's why I
Well, he
said
doesn't have a
Mingo.
Leonard Fournette. Not an All-American, but
See, I think Kiki Mingo is closer to 230 than Sam
Me too,
Montgomery
me too.
was.
because Kiki Mingo was an outside linebacker. Sam Montgomery is a defensive end.
Right. Sam Montgomery was fucking massive.
Sonic Sam, baby.
But did either of them have brothers that played for LSU?
No,
That's what I don't. I should feel like I should know the brother thing. I feel like there's not many
that's
of
what
those.
I think I do.
Was it Richard Dixon?
I don't know if Dixon. It was one of the tight ends, and then I thought Sean Jordan. Remember the guy that fought UFC? I thought he had a brother. There's a tight end somewhere.
But it was an all-American tight end.
Richard Dixon was.
Right.
No, he's coming out. Oh. Oh.
Oh man. Every day I get excited to do
Stelz?
this. He definitely wasn't 6'3", 230. There's no way.
Brandon Taylor.
Didn't we just have Brandon Taylor though?
I don't remember Brandon Taylor.
No, we just.
I thought Brandon Taylor was an answer to one of these recently.
Brandon Taylor's a good guess, but I don't remember. Maybe he wasn't. I don't remember him being an answer.
See, maybe it was a weekend one because I do it on the weekends.
Maybe.
Because I thought, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just guessed him.
I think that's a good guess.
you can guess Brandon
Jesse
Taylor.
Daniels. We just talked about him.
We did. Brandon Taylor 230.
Yeah.
I mean, he was huge, but I don't know. I don't even know if does he have a brother? I thought he did. One of them does.
Curtis Taylor.
Yes. Yeah.
See, that's why I think it was him because I feel like I remember a hint.
Ferguson.
The Fergusons. We didn't even think about long snapper.
Oh wow.
Is he 6'3", 230?
Let's try Blake.
Yeah, that actually
Send
might
Blake
be
Ferguson. That's
If
a
it's
shout out to
Blake
Horatio.
Ferguson.
Horatio, welcome.
What an intro. 2 claps for Horatio. Ready. Yeah.
Horatio,
Wow.
there you go, cuz. My brother is still
enough.
in the NFL, reached a bold stance against the league during the other football big tournament. In my college pro career, I have 11 total tackles and a fumble recovery. At the same initials as an electric former president. Ironically, I visited Capitol Hill in D.C. to raise awareness every single day.
Who's BF? I thought Bill Franquez. I don't know
electric
why.
former president BF?
I mean, that's barking up the wrong tree.
It's not
there,
James
boys.
K. Polk.
No.
I mean, Benjamin Franklin wasn't a president, but I
Yeah.
think that's who he's talking about.
Oh,
Because he did create electricity. But did you,
I don't know if he created it.
he discovered it.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Could
a president.
No, not at all. And he also had syphilis.
He is a founding father, though.
He wears bifocals.
He invented those too.
All right, good work, guys. Good show.
He was like
Great
the
show.
BF
president.
president.
Wait, I thought Thomas Edison invented electricity.
telephone.
light bulb.
Oh, the light bulb. That's what it is.
Alexander Graham
Bell.
Bell.
So wait, Ben Franklin was Ben Franklin
never
a
president.
Yeah, I thought that too. Maybe
He just put a key on a kite,
Yeah.
right.
and then a lightning hit it, and he discovered electricity. Wow, we can do cool things with this, is what he said.
Former presidents with BF initials.
No, he meant Benjamin Franklin.
I know that. Yeah,
There's none.
Yeah.
That is funny. Shout out Carter, man. One of
This
us.
is a
One of
great
us.
game. Every day I get excited to do it, and then by like the second clue, I'm just lost.
And I get
I'm
angry.
like, man, yeah.
I get
Are we
angry
really
about it.
sure about this electricity thing?
What do you mean?
Like, what happened?
He put a key. So he had a kite, right? So a kite, you have the big kite, and there's like the string that you hold. He had a key on the string, and when the lightning hit the kite, I guess it shocked the key. I don't know. And he was like, "Oh, that's something."
Yeah.
It's what I'm saying, somebody just got
We're such
himself.
scientists.
Boom.
He just
Electricity.
Breakthrough.
he's like, I'm gonna get shocked by lightning,
Well, he didn't get shocked because the key took all of it.
and where was the key?
On the
On
kite.
the kite.
He put the key on the kite so there was metal up high so that it would get hit by lightning. I would
So they had
I don't know.
they had never seen lightning before.
No, but they,
But they
no,
didn't know
they,
that
yeah,
it
they
was
didn't know
like
what it was.
electricity, you know?
Right.
Okay.
I mean, we all do the same job.
Yeah, I don't.
None of us are scientists.
Franklin flew a silk kite with a sharp wire on top during a thunderstorm. He attached a metal key to the silk string and a dry silk ribbon to hold it. Rain wet the string. Lightning was transferred charge down the strings to the key of the sparks. He jumped from the key into his knuckles. So he got himself shocked.
Though he thought he was Wolverine too.
Yeah, he definitely thought he was
dude.
Eel Man.
Eel electricity. Man.
Eel electricity.
I can't believe it took us that long to
Ivo
make that.
dropped an eel in the chat earlier.
Hell yeah,
Let me see if
Ivo.
I can find it.
Ivo Eel Nink.
He said,
Eel Man.
he said like, eel.
When Jordan Jefferson hit Reuben Randall on the post over the middle and he housed it, whoa, what a crowd pop.
It almost
game.
like felt like LSU wasn't going, like didn't think they could win.
No. Kelvin Shepard, I remember, had a great game.
He did.
In this one. I think he had a pick.
Love
but
Kelvin Shepard.
even
He
outside
did.
of that, he had a fucking game.
I mean, that's when he was so green.
He was what?
He had so many grass stains on him.
Oh yeah. That's just not how you describe that.
I thought you meant green like he was like new to
No,
football.
no.
And I was like, I don't think he was.
I thought you meant green like he was into recycling. And I was like, what
Yeah, he's
what do you
recycling that
mean?
football.
Nope, he just had grass stain.
He
I
did.
like that.
He
That's
was
a good
so
point.
green.
Man, they look green today.
Well, because you usually don't see him during the day.
Right.
It is funny because we talked about this kind of yesterday. I remember coming out of that game, and it was kind because you had beaten,
See? Look how
you had
green-
beaten
how green he
Saban.
is.
Very green.
You had beaten Saban for what? I think it was the third
monster,
time in
dude.
4
He
years.
was so good.
Everyone was kind of that was like
And the weather was perfect.
great weather day. I
Ugh.
do remember that. Yeah.
Oh, Bryce Hoppel, perfect.
Oh, Greg McElroy, you little bitch.
Greg McElroy hasn't made me like him anymore since. No,
What
like
has he done?
some Alabama players like win you over later. Like Mark Ingram hated him, but
Yeah, I do like
now
Mark
love
Ingram.
him because of the Saints. But like
I like C.J. Mosley.
like
there are some that
Saints,
I yeah.
like some not Saints. Some Alabama players will end up winning you. Greg McElroy just is like he's an announcer now. And
See, and I'd almost say it's because he talks too much and you like see him too much, but I feel like you see Mark Ingram a lot too. And I can't hate Mark. Like I love Mark Ingram.
yeah.
80 degrees
mind Greg McElroy.
that day.
Are there any other? That's great. Are there any other like players you used to, like Herb Jones when he was at Alabama playing basketball, especially that
like
SEC championship?
used to hate and now I
hated
love
him. I hated that because he
Ooh.
dominated LSU, and then now he's a Pelican. And like I'm a
I
big Herb
held
Jones fan.
a big time McElroy grudge every time he's in the booth.
I don't like, but that's what I'm saying. He hasn't. He's only made me dislike him more as time gone.
I think I had reached a point at one like there was a time when it's like ugh,
Yeah.
and now it's just like ugh.
Yeah.
But I mean, he would constantly once Saban left Alabama, I felt
Yeah.
a little bit better.
Yeah.
But he would constantly reference Alabama.
I didn't like Patrick
Definitely-
Mahomes at all.
Really?
I hated him for a long time, Patrick Mahomes. And then when we played him in the bowl game, I remember sitting. We were on vacation. I remember sitting outside the RV watching the TV with my dad, and both of us kind of looked at each other like, "This dude's fucking like really good. Like he's got no chance in this game because Texas Tech sucks, but this dude can sling the freaking football around." And then now I love Patrick Mahomes, big fan.
Who else is there?
See, people are confused about the Lightning also.
AJ McCarron still don't like him.
Hate him.
No, hate him.
We're only talking about Alabama players.
Yeah. Well, those are the easiest ones to hate, I feel like.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's definitely been a player that like I disliked. Oh, LeBron, I didn't like him when he didn't go I didn't like him when he went to Miami because this was before I started formulating my own opinions about sports. And then when he went back to Cleveland, I was like, okay, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Now I do like him a lot
Kevin
again.
Durant's won me back over.
No.
The Olympics is what got me.
Yeah, the Olympics was cool as
Was
fuck.
cool.
Yeah, I can admit that. The Olympics
But
was
the
cool
like
as
the
fuck.
Golden State thing, I'll never. It just like shredded my respect for him.
Yeah, of course.
Draymond.
He glazes LeBron. I'm cool with it.
If anything, I would say I used to dislike Draymond. And I've started to like him more. So yeah, I guess that makes that's.
And
part-
I appreciate
that
him
makes sense.
punching LeBron that night
Yeah.
in that game.
Okay, crazy. One thing you can't do.
Like literally.
What
He just kept going at nuts.
I didn't like Pat Bev for a really long time.
Won you over though?
He just stopped being
Yeah.
relevant.
I think who
Who's
else?
the other ones I'm trying to think of?
Guys that I used to hate.
Topic for another day.
Derrick Henry. Didn't like him when he was at
I
Alabama.
didn't mind Derrick Henry.
Well, he's just so good.
No, he was
So
I
good.
just I didn't hate him.
But
I hated the
love him in the
idea of
NFL.
him. Yeah, he's great in the NFL. Oh, there's so many. It's hard because like it's almost they have to be so good that they like like Mike Tyson, well, fuck you till you love me.
Yeah.
Like they have to be so good that I eventually have to
Nice.
like submit and I'm just
Yeah.
like, wow, this dude is cool as fuck. You know what I mean? Like cuz that is kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Cuz you didn't like Steph Curry, but then he hits those threes in the Olympics and you're like, fucking,
Right. All right.
I'm on all fours.
No, I mean that 2024 Olympics was
It
awesome.
was awesome. I remember watching that in New York. It was so much fun.
Dude, it was unreal.
Yeah.
That game
Very
against
cool.
France.
And you know what sucked? We've got one of the people I worked with in New York is a Nuggets fan. He's from Denver. He's cheering for fucking Serbia.
You're
I
American.
think it was the semifinal
Right,
game.
yeah.
Or was it? No, the final was against France.
Yeah, it was the
So
game
he's
before.
cheering for fucking Jokic. I'm like, dude, you're
Because that was when they
American.
had to come back in.
Yeah, that was stupid. That pissed me
Oh,
off.
Kevin Bluff is good. I hated Landon Collins.
I fucking still hate Landon Collins.
I do still hate him, though.
Landon Collins can...
But because I was at Dutchtown in like elementary school when he picked Alabama,
Yeah.
and it disgusted me.
I watched it live, and I was very upset. That pissed me off. Who would
Devon
I
A.
have,
Chain's a good one.
who would I have disliked?
I like him 'cause I
No,
pick him in fantasy.
No, because LSU messed over Devon A. Chain. He wanted to come to LSU, and we didn't let him, and that was our fault. We picked Covontre Bradford,
Legend.
the legend.
Freaking-
He had that touchdown against Florida, and the first play against
Wheel
Florida
route,
State.
baby.
Yeah, that one too.
Come on,
yeah.
we were wide open. 32. Started in 8, though. It was 8 left. What did he go to North Texas? Then comes back in 32.
Yeah,
Any Louisiana guy that picks Alabama.
I'll hate
Pisses me
forever.
off.
I'll never like them. Well, Aaron Anderson, he came back.
He came
that
back.
doesn't. I don't
and
think
I
that
wasn't
counts.
mad when he left because got
Right.
fired.
Yeah.
Oh no!
What you got?
Rule changes.
In
College football.
What is it? What is it? Targeting 1, targeting 2.
No.
When you fumble out the end zone, the other team doesn't get the
5
ball.
acts of unsportsmanlike conduct. A weapon. Brandishing a weapon. Actually simulating brandishing a weapon. Slashing of the throat.
Oh.
Nose wipe signal.
Wait, we can't do this?
Christian's gonna be devastated.
I mean, the nose. Look, the weapons I think are soft, but I can understand it. The nose wipe. Why?
But it's bigger than us.
But what is it? What is it? It carries like a 1-game suspension now. Is that what it is?
Christian's gonna be hard.
Or is it just a fit? Well, you said 5 unnecessary roughnesses. So is
Unsportsmanlike
that
conduct?
or unsportsmanlike? Is that over the course of the season? Because you're not going to get 5 in 1 game. If you get 2, you're ejected.
It says nothing after that. That occur clearly after the ball is dead. They're not part of the game matching. Dead ball contact fouls. Removing the helmet, pushing or pulling people off the pile. I wonder if this is going to
Yeah,
be.
but what's the punishment?
That's what I'm wondering. If it's unsportsmanlike conduct, it must be a dead ball foul. So it won't take away a
And
first
if you
down.
Get 2 unsportsmanlike.
You're ejected
You
from
get
the
2
game.
boogies.
But what you said 5 unsportsmanlike conducts.
Like, those are the 5. Like those are the
5 actions.
Oh, I thought he's saying like over the course of the season, 5 would get you a
Those
suspension.
are the 5.
Okay.
Brandishing a weapon, acting like you're using a weapon, wiping your nose, slashing your throat.
Yeah,
Removing your
pulling
helmet.
people off the pile. Yeah, I mean all of that.
Christian's gonna be upset about the wiping your nose.
The wiping your nose is kind of stupid. No.
I mean, technically, it's associated with like violence, and like if you're gonna wipe
Gang
somebody's
violence.
nose, you're killing them, usually, robbing them, committing acts of violence against them.
Boot gang, whole lot of gang shit.
Slime.
I don't know.
Because it is awesome after Perk makes that tackle against Alabama that he stands over him and goes,
Yeah, nose wipe. Yeah, that shit is tough.
It was hard. Like Christian's gonna be Genuinely devastated.
Yeah,
it's
no, I
in
know.
the NFL too.
So what about CD's this? Does
That
that count?
I'd
Yep.
assume you can't
Because
do
that one's awesome.
Yeah,
I
that's
do
so
that after I
cool.
finish something for work.
Yeah.
Like that video.
Yeah.
Ever since I saw that TikTok,
Oh,
I do it
it's
all the
so
time.
good.
Like
Yeah.
I sent that email yesterday, and I went,
is this technically wiping your nose?
No, that's
No,
scuba.
that's scuba. You're scuba.
Yeah, I'm
No.
blowing my nose.
yes.
Yeah.
You're underwater.
You're holding your nose.
What if
You're holding your nose like Tom Brady.
That's fine.
Into the towel.
That's that was such a good like you acted it out so well.
yeah.
He went. but then you gave the perfect little.
yeah.
Lloyd just loves finding ways to skirt around the rules.
He does.
It's
The way his brain is
unbelievable.
wired.
It is unbelievable.
Is he
With
hears
them allergies.
He
It's
hears
so
the rule
funny.
and then he's like, "Well, do I get in trouble for this?"
What if I wipe my nose with the towel? Back on your hip,
Yeah.
or fold it up and put it in your pocket,
Little
like a handkerchief.
Oh my lord.
That is awesome.
That's wild. The wiping the nose, man. That's
Do you wear
crazy.
the jersey that has the hand warmer built in?
Yeah.
It's all tissues inside.
Heck yeah.
All right. I guess there's no more news. Jayden Daniels suspended from the NFL.
No. Christian.
I will be interested to see today because now that
not.
this is kind of like this is all it's whatever. Now we've talked about it. We'll get Rose's opinion tomorrow, which will be nice to hear. I'm interested to see what the Ole Miss fans say about it because I haven't seen too much Ole Miss fodder about it, and they're going to twist
I know
it.
exactly what they'll say about
What do you
it.
think they're going to say?
They're going to say Lane doesn't understand LSU. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. And he's a selfish piece of shit that broke tradition at LSU just to benefit himself when he should have not given out number 5 because Jayden Daniels stood for something and meant something at LSU. Like, that's what they're going to say. They're going to, of course, spin it in the anti-Lane Kiffin way. And that's fine. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
They're idiots. They also argued that Ole Miss having the most explosive plays in the last 5 years doesn't
That is true.
benefit Lane Kiffin because he wasn't on the field, which is the dumbest argument I've ever fucking heard.
And that they're not going to have any drop-off offensively because John David Baker was the tight ends coach in 2021 and
Nice.
co-OC in 22-23.
Congrats, man. Yeah. And they think, and the other one was like, someone said something about Trinidad. That article we read where college coaches were commenting on Levitt, it was all the quarterbacks, and someone said, one of the coaches said Lane gets too much credit for Trinidad. And so
And maybe he does.
maybe he does, but
Maybe he
and
does.
then again, Ole Miss fans quote tweeted it and were like, reminder that the people who found Trinidad Chambliss, or the person that found Trinidad Chambliss was Charlie Weiss.
Yep. LSU's offensive coordinator.
What colors is Charlie Weiss wearing right now?
P&G, baby.
What are we talking about?
I guess we could talk a little bit about basketball did.
Oh yeah, you should talk about some
It's
Sky
kinda-
Clark.
we did get Sky
That's a
Clark.
big get.
We can save it for tomorrow.
can
'cause
save it
we
for
won't have
tomorrow.
anything to talk about.
But we'll have Row in, which will be good.
Yeah.
Sky Clark, LSU Tiger, you got 5.
there you go.
I got 5.
I got 5.
They got more than 5. We try to tell you. He does.
Should be number 5.
Wait, LSU has 5 basketball players.
It's all coming to a head.
Oh, cease and desist.
Cease and desist.
You can't have 5. We have to. You can't. We got LSU has to get another basketball player right now. You can't have just 5.
It's Tingle and go.
What about Lamar Brown's number?
Is he 5?
With the show, it's a new era. Let's get it, let's go.
Since it's 2 of them, it's
It
2
cancel
cease
it.
and desist, and they cancel out.
Okay, perfect. Double negative. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We appreciate everybody getting in here today. If you are new to the show, thank you. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we're here live every single day, 8 to 10 a.m. We'll be back tomorrow with Rohan Davey.